Hey, welcome back, everybody. Turn up, it's Tuesday. How y'all doing today? Y'all already know what time it is. We ain't gonna mess around. We gonna pick up where we left off from yesterday, and we ain't gonna do no plan. We got to hop right into this because it's just so much to go over. Now, before we do that, I will just say how you doing, everybody. Thank you for coming through. I'm really glad to see all of you. Go ahead and hit that like button on your way in, and if you're feeling good, go ahead and hit the share button as well. Again, big shout out to everybody in the building today. We're gonna continue decoding Jesus like never before, and the purpose of this series is to go into the occult, uh, the occult decoding of Christ. Now, most of us know the religious Christ, and in the previous video, we went over a lot of things we've heard about Christ and religion, and we synced them to the science of the ancient spiritual systems. It was very interesting. If you missed that previous one, go ahead and check it out. It's a lot of knowledge in that one, and it's going to be a lot of knowledge in this one. So we're still on the foundation of sacred geometry, syncretism, and today's perspective is YeSHUa is the Egyptian god Shu. I will be proving that at some point in this series. I'm hoping it'll be in this one if my slides and everything flow the way that I want them to flow. But this is going to be a powerful series, especially for Hebrews, Christians, everybody. I hope you've been following. So let's get right back into it, because in the previous video, we went over the fact that Christ replaced the Great Mother, and that the Great Mother represented liberation, free energy, and the knowledge of the cosmos, which was distributed evenly throughout the people. There was no monopoly on it, meaning there was no occult schools hidden, knowledge. Today, we're going to be showing you more of the occult deception, meaning how they hid the ancient spiritual systems and replaced them with these modern day sun worshiping systems. So let's get right back into it. And of course, this is from the perspective of Jesus. Now, this was the last slide that we left off on yesterday. This was the last slide. So we're going to pick back up on this one here today. Now, what are we looking at in this collage? Because I'm not ready to go to the next image yet. I still was kind of pointing out some things on here before we cut off. Now, what we want to point out in this collage, let's start with the top right corner. That's a god called Horus, the Egyptian god Horus. And what I want to point out to you is that Horus is another form of YeSHUa or Jesus. And Horus is in the word Horus. We're about to get deep, and we just started. We're about to get deep, and we just started. Why is that important? Anyone that knows what a chorus is three tones of voices stacked together. So the original chorus or Trinity, according to the Christians, would have been Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and that was the Krios. The Krios was the crows. In other words, let me break something down to you. Another word for the sun god was the crown. I keep telling you that Jesus, Serapis, with the cup on top of his head, represents the crown chakra. If you look in the bottom left corner, that's the human, and that cup on top of its head is how the energy flow through the crown and out of the root. This is what connects us to the ethereal realm. So when you see gods, if you just Google God Serapis with the cup on his head, you'll see what I'm talking about, where the Greeks started to personify the crown chakra as a god named Serapis, which became Jesus. But prior to that god becoming Serapis, we didn't personify it, we just called it the crown. So that crown of thorns that's around Jesus' head represents this crown chakra. We're going to be getting in deep into this symbolism, but stay with me. The word crown is also spelled C-R-O-U-N, because we know when you say round, you don't say R-O-W-N. You can spell it that way, or you can spell it R-O-U-N-D. But what I'm trying to point out to you is crown with C-R-O-U-N. And crown became cross. Cross. The crown chakra represent the cross, the great crossing. If you look at the image in the bottom left corner, if you were hovering above that crown chakra, you would see a circle with a cross like you see in the bottom right corner. That's the Hunapku. Now, this is the Taurus field done by the ancient Hawaiians and Polynesians. That's called a Hunapku. It's in stone engraving. That is the Jesuit cross. It's the secret of the Jesuits, by the way. This is Hitler's swastika. Shows you the secret of creation. This is the thing they're going to war about to hide this knowledge, people. This is infinite energy. How to tap into the ether. Now listen to me. If you're hovering above the human's head and you're able to see the energy flow into the crown, it looks like a cross, a Christian cross. Like I said, it looks like the image in the bottom right corner. And it's spiraling into that middle drain. All right? So the crown, C-R-O-U-N, the N was also replaced with an S, and it was the cross. Now we spell cross C-R-O-S-S, but we say kraut is K-R-A-U-T. Now cross is also C-R-A-U-S, like Claus, Santa Claus. I'm trying to break down to you how these words changed over the years, and now we don't know the truth. I'm trying to give you back the truth. Stay with me. The word cross, C-R-O-U-S, became a symbol that you see in the bottom right corner. And that cross was personified also as a bird called Horus. See, the word cross, C-R-O-U-S, was changed to be chorus. Cross became chorus, and caress became caress. This is a caressing motherly energy. Caress is how we get the word caress. Christ. Christ is caressed. But it all comes from Karos. He represents the Karos, where that caressing take place. So another symbol for caress was the crest and shield. The crest is represented by that because the crown chakra makes a crest, and it also forms a cross. So it was personified as a Christ, and also as a chorus or a Horus, the bird. So as you look at Horus, the bird, you see Horus' wings is open just like Jesus' arms was open, because both of them are personifications of the cross, the cross. Now this is also the crust, like a pie crust, because this represents the edges of the Taurus field. So if you look at the crown chakra and the root chakra, this is the edges of the shell, or the crust, or the crust. And this is the Christ consciousness, because this shows how the energy flows in and out of your earthly reality. And that's what the Christ represented when he came in and out of the earth with the resurrection. So let me go over some more word etymology as we break down this cosmic Christ, so you can see how the language play a part. The words crisscross, and I'm not talking about the rap group, even though I will be decoding them and a lot of more esoteric symbolism in hip hop in the future. But when you say crisscross, you're speaking a language now. When you say zigzag, zigala, It's the same thing of saying crisscross. And when you say crisscross, you're saying the cross of Christ. Christ's cross. Christ represents the cross, or the great crisscrossing, the cosmic boulevard. In the previous video, we also went over how this was a personification of that cosmic boulevard with the arms open, just like Christ, represent that motherly caress, Christ. So I'm just showing you how we bent the words and lost the truth. So as we say crisscross, those two words were married together to become the word krios. Yes, people, Chris plus cross equals krios. And the word krios began to walk into the word krios, which is the word crease. You know how you crease something? How men iron their pants and put a crease in them? That crease is the narrow gate that Christ speak of, because this great crossing where the crown chakra is, all of the energy squeezed down a small little tube. They say it's the eye of a needle. A rich man can't fit through this narrow gate because all of his worldly pleasures can't fit through that crown chakra. Meaning if your pleasures come from the physical world, then you have no pleasures in manifesting your own God will. You can only be a consumer at that point if you're just happy with buying things. Your bag of physical goods don't mean nothing when you're trying to transition the soul into the ethereal realms and receive the gifts of nature. Meaning, you can't be a person that's lusting for Rolls Royces and Benzes every day and a spiritual guru that's lusting to get control over your macabre and astral project and unlock the secrets of nature, because that energy that you would use to do one can't be used at the same time to do them both. This is why the Bible says you can't serve two masters. You either gonna receive the gifts of the spirit or the gifts of the flesh. Don't mean you're gonna be broke and a guru. What it means is you're gonna be balanced. You might not be a billionaire, but you'll be, a well-off person that ain't hurting for no money, but you'll have perfect peace within because you didn't do nothing to compromise, like all of the people who was trying to seek the gifts of the world and join these secret societies and all of that, falling right into the trap of hiding this knowledge that keeps you away from your Christ consciousness. Because now you become part of some cult that indoctrinates you and leads you further down their rabbit hole of deception, away from yourself, and you belong to them. All right, so when you take that oath, that's a contract. Now listen, I say that because this knowledge I'm giving you has always been battles fought over it, and still being carried out now in the form of religious wars. But the people fighting the religious wars don't understand that the power has nothing to do with them fairy tale gods that they dying about, but that the people who got them as pawns kill themselves really know the knowledge behind these gods, and that these gods represent how to rule over the masses and generate free energy by tapping into the ethereal sea. This is how they built nations and created a peasant system. And the other people that's going to war together literally believe in the gods. And now we're going to talk about a lot of the miracles that were performed by these gods and show you why these miracles were even written in the Bible. But first, we got to make it past this collage and get some of this etymology, because like I was saying, when you say the word crisscross, it becomes the word creos, which became the word crease. That's important because the root word C-R-E-A is the root word of create, creator, creation, crease. Do you know that a crease is a ripple? And everything in nature is a ripple effect? So studying a ripple effect also shows the human how to manifest the will of the mind into the physical reality. And when you're not doing that, you'll be manifesting somebody else's will by default. That's what we got going on. So understand, no one knows how to create and no one knows how to have an original thought, because if you're a Christian, you replace your unique mind that the Most High gave you for the mind of Christ Jesus. And your Bible say that. Said, let this mind be in me. Let this mind be in you that is in Christ Jesus. So even though you got a mind for your damn self that can rationalize from your own unique perspective based upon your own unique experience that you went through in your own damn unique lifetime, you gonna cancel out all that and go by this dude who talking in the Bible's experience. You a grown ass adult who done been through some things, got all his experience, but you will fucking cancel out all of your experience and open up a goddamn Bible and listen to a medieval motherfucker tell you how to live in today's world. And wonder why you keep bumping your head. Can't nothing beat your own intuition. Christ told you the kingdom of God was within, so that means it ain't in the Bible. Jesus didn't have a Bible. So what I'm doing today is showing you the secrets of unlocking the knowledge of the cosmic Christ. Listening to the voice within you and manifesting your own will and not the will of Pastor Pochop black ass. Because if he want that jet, he gonna manifest it. $60 million Creflo raise, and he still ain't unlocked the cosmic Christ energy yet. Shame on you Negroes. Now we got to go to ancient symbolism to reconnect with our ancestors. Until we do that, you're going to be reconnecting with some damn charlatan who only interested in what he can get up out of you using it for your own ignorance. Much love to my brother Stick Built. Appreciate the donation, fam. Appreciate that, my brother. So check this image out, right? Because we ain't ready to move on yet. We got a lot more to learn in this. Now, what you're looking at is a creasing of energy. So this torus field is a ripple, or we call it a crease. It'll be a bump in the road. That's how you got to look at it, because all that exists is the ethereal sea, and disturbances or rips in the ethereal sea are what we call life, because a rip is a drip. Remember that. The word rip is in a word drip, because a driplet of water is ripped from the whole sea of water. If I splash some water on you from out the sink, it's like if I tear a piece of paper off or rip a piece of paper off, you drip some water, you took some pieces of the water out of the hole. They're rips or drips. That's important because life can be explained by observing a ripple effect. Every human is a piece of the Creator. And by combining all of our minds collectively, we manifest the all. So this is the power in numbers. If every human is a piece of the puzzle, we won't see the whole picture till we all come together in whatever areas and things we is. And that's what was happening on a collective level around the earth when the ancients was living. That's why we see all these temples and pyramids, and on every continent they was building the same stuff, because all of them was on the same page, trying to basically resurrect Creator on earth. And we can do that when basically every world nation combined with the same mission, which is to understand creation. That's the whole purpose of man. So science is man's true religion, but scientism is what plagues the world today. This is why we're not reconnecting with nature. We're reconnecting with theoretical mumbo jumbo that makes no sense, and it disconnects us from nature, in fact. So let's get some more word etymology because that's important. When you say crease, they also replaced the C with the G and it became Greece. Now the G at the middle of the Masonic square and compass represents Jesus, which is the Greece. In other words, Jesus is personifying the ether, and the ethereal realm exists between every physical realm. And the physical realm is very dry and rigid. When you think of elements, think of all the parts of a car. You got the motor, all of this metal inside of a car. That's the elements. Now, you need a grease in between all of that metal to keep that thing lubed up and lubricated and also glued together. So not only does the grease eases the tension like they tell you Christ do, but the grease keeps all the parts held together. And all of the grease lubes and become its own mind. It morphs itself to the movement of the metals movement to get it all of those hard to reach places. And the grease fills all of those empty places where the metal would rub against itself. And without that grease, the car couldn't run, or the oil. See, this is why Christ have holy oil, because Christ represents the ether, which is a magnetic lubing in between physical realms. Physical realms are made of the elements which are in motion. And if all of these physical realms didn't have an ethereal realm in between them, all of physical planes in the multiverse would collide with each other. And that'll be disastrous. So without the oil in the car, all of the metal will lock up because it'll be rubbing so hard against each other. It'll get so hot, it'll turn red and just burn up and the motor will lock up. You look under there, your motor just black. Because when then in between the physical metal to lube it up. And that's what Christ represents, the grease in between the worlds to capture the soul. It's like a resting place. In my Father's kingdom there are many mansions, but the root word of dimension is mention or mansion. Now when you speak, you mention things. So heaven is just all in your speech, in your thoughts, because the first language starts in the mind. It's the silent one, it's the voice within. He's the one manifesting your reality. If he longs to be in heaven, that's where you'll teleport to in the next jump or the next lifetime. But this is like a lily pad theory, because if you understand how they personified this in the form of the moon goddesses, they set upon the moon crest. Because the stars are the stars and the luminaries is what bounce the conscious light up to the Polaris. Like ping pong. If you think of how all the lights wrap around a Christmas tree to lead up to the top, to that star at the top, that's how the soul is bounced through the luminaries to make it back to the source. And as you pass through each luminary, the energy is calibrated and filtered. And by the time you make it to the source, you become pure etheric energy. In other words, all the stars and different things in the sky are gateways that the soul passed through, like the lion jumped through the fiery hoop. They show you the lion jumping through the hoop. That's how the soul ping pong through the stars to make it up to that one, the highest one Polaris. It's a huge Christmas tree. And we'll be showing you that in a minute. Matter of fact, I can show you that now. Actually, I thought I could, but I don't have it queued up. We'll get to it. I don't want to mess up the slideshow. Hold on a second. I'm already messing up. As you can see, we got a lot to go over, so stay with me. So I'm showing you what the cosmic Christ thing is all about. Now check this out. As the soul passed through the luminaries on its journey back to the source, Each one takes something from the soul. The soul is just a light body, and it's very colorful, made of all the colors of the rainbow, even the ones you can't see. And as this light body travels up to the source, passing through each of the seven heavens and the seven luminaries and all of the star systems back to the source. Each time you pass through a luminary or a star system, it takes some of your light, a piece of you stays with it. It's like a net system, a filtering system. You can't go back and show up in the presence of the source with clothes on. In other words, before you can get in the presence of the Most High, you got to be stripped down to pure etheric energy. Because where the Most High reside at, there are no elements. The only thing there is the etheric energy that gave birth to the physical realms. So as you stand in the presence of the source or the Most High, you don't stand there composed of the physical elements. Neither do you stand there posed of most of the spectrums of light that compose the Merkaba, because most of that stripped away through the filters. By the time you make it to the source, the only thing that you're going to exist as the pure essence or seed of what you was. And the Most High will take that and plant and replant that into another experience. It's only thing, all of what's needed to transmit what you are is in that pure ethereal version of yourself. It's the condensed version. It's like putting a whole bunch of information on a little bitty small little stick drive. But this little stick drive that may be on your keychain can fit enough information to hold everybody in the world's information, credit card information. You'll be like, damn, that's a very dense little hard drive you got there. You know, because I got a hard drive the size of a desk and it can only hold this, you know, enough information for my family. Here you go with a little bitty stick drive and it can hold enough information for the whole world. That's what the creator take the most, that very dense seed, because everything of what you are is being recorded in every plane of existence and reinterpreted for that particular plane. Since you exist as a bunch of different aspects, each one goes back to their perspective heaven. So when we talk about the seven heavens, your light body is made out of the seven chakras. And as you pass through each of the seven wandering stars, everyone is color coded to suit a certain chakra. And if you're passing through, let's say Mars, once you make it through Mars, your light body will no longer have red in it anymore. That version of you will be captured by Mars. So every chakra is a light that sinks the Merkaba to a certain wandering star. So it's seven chakras, it's seven wandering stars. And as you travel through those wandering stars back to the source, by the time you get to the source, there is no rainbow colors around your Merkaba, because each of those wandering stars take that version of you with it. Okay? So the Most High is just a concept, because the Most High has pretty much, each chakra has its own Most High and its own threshold before it's filtered on your journey up the magic mountain. So to the root chakra, the second heaven is its Most High, but that's that lower version of you. It can't ascend that high. So if you notice, Mars is very close in the sky. When we die, we travel through those planets first, Mars and all of that, but it's not physical planets. It's lenses. It's like little openings. The torus field is made out of all the colors of the rainbow, and each one of them is a different light code of consciousness. So when we talk about pure white light that the sun is creating, that pure white sunlight is the last color of the rainbow. That's the world we live in. They don't talk about that color. The color at the very bottom of all those colors. Let me see if I can pull up this rainbow image. I'll do that for you. That clear color that's at the very bottom of all the colors, that's pure light. Because every color together creates white light. But that's when you're dealing with light. When you're dealing with physical matter, every color together create darkness. But this is the yin and the yang, because darkness is light condensed. It depends on how you're looking at it. So in other words, it's called space and counter space. And light can't be transmitted without darkness. So if you think of electrical tape, why is electrical tape dark black and leathery? See, it's mimicking the ether. And you can actually have a cut in an electrical cord and put some of that electrical tape around it, and that electricity, that light will still be able to transmit. But if you put some clear tape on there, it ain't gonna do it. So this is why the light body or the consciousness is transmitted through the darkness or the shadow of death, the valley of the shadow of death. It's a narrow squeezing opening. So if you look at this Pac-Man mouth, it's gobbling up you, the light body. You're going up a Christmas tree. The mouth of the Pac-Man creature is actually the stairway to heaven. It's a mountain. It's the Christmas tree. So don't be scared. We all gonna go into that mouth. This is why Jonah went into the mouth of the whale. But he came back out alive, right? So don't be scared. The word Jonah just means join the all. When you say join all, it became join all in Jonah. All right? Join or join is the root word of joint, join, and that's what this pole represents. The ethereal stairway where our world is connected or joined with other worlds. So it's a joint. And it's a place of great joy because we join the Most High, and it's a joyful thing. So this union, you can see why we have these words like joy, join, we join the Most High, and joy. Jonah joined the Most High because the whale in the ethereal sea is none other than, wait for it, the mouth that Jonah was in is here. So the earth is a huge torus field, and upon death, our energy rejoins the source and it exits, and we're outside of that torus field, selling on top of this ethereal sea. And we're selling in our little light body, which is shaped just like the earth's. So like I told you, this is a raft. We use them all the time. If you ever go whitewater rafting, it's fun, man. And you're in a Cheerio. And think about what you're saying, a cheery. Oh, the word cheer, remember, is related to Christ as well. The word cheer is also related to joy because it's about joining, reuniting with the source, which is a joyful thing. So, you know, the ancestors knew this. Now check this out. When you say Jonah, it's because you're combining the words join with the words ah. Ah is the sound that this thing makes. See? And every time you get an aha moment, It means you're raising your Christ consciousness. You say, aha, because the light bulb above your head is really the crown chakra. And every time you feed the knowledge of the ether into that, you expand your Merkaba. It gets bigger. That means it's like a balloon with more air in it. It can go higher than a balloon with less air. So the people that's joining me, remember what we're doing. We're fueling up our souls for the journey. We're preparing to lead this motherfucker. We don't want to come back. We know it's something better. So here's the thing. Let's talk about Jonah in the mouth of the whale. Because if you put your ear to that opening, if I was to put your ear up to that hole where that energy being sucked in, it'll sound like ah, like how you put a seashell up to your ear at the beach. That's called a chorus. That's called a chorus in musician. In music, that's called a chorus. That sound is a static sound. That's a blend of wind rushing through four corners or a vortex. And since the wind creates a different tone in every corner, when they combine, it just it sounds like ah, because all the energy is flowing into this thing from the four corners around it. A circle is divided into four corners, 90 degrees, make the 360. And they pour into a center point and it makes a vortex and it sounds like, ah, that's why when you hear heaven gates open, they play the, ah, you can hear the choir because the word choir is the word choirus. This is the word Christ. That's why I was doing the etymology for y'all earlier. Remember that the word crown is C-R-O-U-N, and that became the word chorus because the crown chakra sounds like a chorus. The energy of the crown chakra is so subtle. When you're able to put your ear, when you're able to hear that crown chakra, it sounds like mighty rushing winds, like the Bible say. The Bible said he spoke with a voice of mighty rushing wind. That's because the etheric winds rush into the Christ chakra or the crown chakra. And it sounds like he's speaking with the voice of mighty winds. Or ah, when the Bible opened in the movie, they say ah, and the light is coming up out of it. Because this is really the Bible what you're looking at. This is the book of life. It opens and closes to allow the soul enter and exit to the earthly planes. This is your vehicle to travel the cosmos. So this is the Christ ship. All right. And Jonah was another version of telling this story of the soul reconnecting with the source by entering the mouth of the whale. That fish in the middle of this symbol is the whale's mouth that Jonah entered. And he came back out the other side down at the bottom. That's, hey, it wasn't a whale that's trying to eat you. It's a metaphysical whale. The ancestors spoke a poetic language, people. They spoke a parabolic language like what Jesus spoke, where they used symbolism to describe ethereal science. So we live inside of this Taurus field right now. But when we exit the earth upon death, we go up in the ground out the bottom and we circle back around. And the purpose is to have enough energy to escape the suction at the top to where you can bounce around the side and go up and escape the pull of this world to another one above it. If you don't fuel your Merkaba with enough truth, which is the gas for the soul, you don't have enough energy when you leave this physical body to break the pull of this realm. In other words, the universe got a built-in system to where it feel like if you didn't learn everything here, it'll suck you back in. The people that learn everything they need to learn, the universe know it because on an ethereal level, it can see our macabres getting bigger. The people that's here filling their spirit up with truth, you're literally filling it up. And the more you fill it up, it gets bigger and bigger. This is why they said Santa Claus carried a sack full of gifts, and he had a lot of gifts that was filled up. You're the Santa Claus carrying the sack. The sack around you is the macabre around you. And you can fill it up with so many truths and information and gifts, ethereal science, that it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you leave this earth, meaning when your body disappears from the middle of that macabre, your consciousness will shift into this macabre. And when that happens, you will exist outside of the earth, being flushed out of here like a Cheerio. You will look like a human inside of a whitewater raft selling some waters. Now think about it. The man with the biggest ship get to survive the storm. If you on a little bitty ass raft, you ain't gonna be able to survive this rough journey. And you're gonna get sucked right back into the vortex and come back and reincarnate because you didn't learn enough. Your spirit didn't get fed enough because you was too busy getting your body fat. See? People who have been enlightened in this lifetime, getting aha moments, it's like they got a ethereal air pump and they're pumping up that macabre around their body, and it's getting so damn big that when they leave here, they gonna be like that hot air balloon that when you cut the damn strings at the bottom, it's gonna shoot up to the sky. The only thing holding that hot air balloon down on the ground is the body. But when the body is no longer, the heart ain't beat no more, your spirit ain't gonna be anchored to the earth no more. Your consciousness gonna shift to that spirit body, and you're gonna realize then while you was on the earth, you was fucking up, wasting time. You're gonna realize you was learning rap songs and how to twerk and all that shit, but you weren't learning how to reconnect with your spirit. So you're gonna pay for that, and you're gonna come back here over and over until you learn what you need to learn about yourself and how great you are. Nature got a system built. See, the earth we live in is made just like this thing right here, just like your spirit body made. And the winds, the barriers of this realm, you can break the pull of this realm by increasing your ethereal awareness, vibrational energy, aha moments, enlightenment. That is fuel for the soul. The soul don't eat apples and oranges. It eat truth. That's food and fuel for the soul. If you come to this earth and you don't get enough of it, you will not be able to escape the pull of this plane of existence, because the barriers of this place is based upon your level of consciousness. Once you outgrow and start thinking outside of the box and know that there's planes beyond this one, this plane can no longer hold you. It got to let you go. Because what happens when you start understanding that type of knowledge about the worlds beyond this world, you raise your vibration, and the spirit now knows something it didn't know. Some people, all they know is this world, so this is all they'll come back to until they find out that it's something greater. In other words, a computer can't load up the Bahamas if I don't download the Bahamas. Meaning, you can't come over my house and open up a picture of a Bahamas on my hard drive if I didn't save a picture of the Bahamas on my hard drive. So in other words, while you in this human body, you're here to expand your consciousness, meaning to push the limits of your understanding of reality. And if you don't do that and you're only trapped to these limits of understanding, your soul can't perceive of anything beyond this place. So it won't be able to load a better experience. If you only think this is it and this world is your heaven, then you won't go no higher than here because you're vibrating with this world. But the people who uncover the mysteries of the universe and learn that there are worlds beyond this world, greater worlds, lower worlds, and you can choose which one you want to be on based upon you understanding the limitations of consciousness awareness on that plane. There are higher planes of existence where people are existing and they're putting the elements together in better ways than us, because we making cell phones and all kind of other dumb shit, guns and bombs. That's how people manipulate the elements in this low plane of existence. And if you think that's the only way you can manipulate the elements, this is where you're gonna come back to make bombs and make guns and fucking dashikis and jeans and shit. But there are beings who are born on this earth who have aha moments in their lifetime, and they unlock mysteries beyond this plane of existence. They are able to conceive in their mind other realities where the elements can be put together in better harmonious ways to create a better experience. And if you can imagine a realm that's better than this one, you will no longer come to this one no more. That's why they say if you can imagine it, you can go there. This is how we load up heaven on the ethereal plane. So again, if I didn't save a picture of the Bahamas on my computer, you can't load it up. So when the body goes into the ethereal realm, it goes to reload an experience. And based upon what you fed the spirit when you was in the body would determine where the body is reprojected at by the spirit. And it's like a checkpoint system. In the video game, the game gonna start you back off where you died at until you go further. If you move beyond that checkpoint, then when you die, you'll be start off higher than that. See how it works? You gotta break the threshold of understanding that governs this reality to make it the higher ones. And you do that with imagination, with mind energy, closing your eyes and just dealing with the possibilities of how life can exist in harmony with the elements without having cell towers, microwaves, pollution, because all of that way of manipulating the elements is the bullshit level of understanding that this plane of existence is on. But there are different levels. There are many planes of existence where we exist on those planes of existence. And in order for you to get to those planes of existence, you got to transmit your consciousness to that version of you that's on that higher level. So when we talk about operating in the higher self exists in a higher realm. It's a layering system. So when you come here, you're coming here to break the thresholds of the boundaries of this place. The mental limitations when somebody say, oh, well, this is all science that have been able to figure out. You can't do nothing else here but make bombs, guns, condoms, ice cream, slaughterhouses, name brand clothes, TVs, PlayStation, rings, hats. This is the level of understanding that man has achieved with manipulating the elements on this realm. That shit's just funny. You talking primitive. Yo, we are slow. That's how I know there's higher realms of existence that you can only go to by tapping into Christ consciousness. And that is what I'm showing you here today. This is spiritual tech, what I'm giving you. All right. Now give me just 1 minute because we had an hour and I need to wet my throat box, my throat dry. Let me drink something and Let me take just a small break, people, just a small one. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Uh, Somebody said you don't need Christ consciousness to visit higher realms. They still don't get it, y'all. They still thinking of this white dude walking on water when I'm telling them Christ consciousness is just crown consciousness. Question: how can you use the crown chakra if you're not aware that it even exists? Christ awareness or crown awareness is you realizing, hey, I have a crown chakra and I can actually transmit my consciousness through this crown chakra or this Christ consciousness, this cross consciousness. Stay with me, my brothers. Get this dude out your mind, yo. That's why I'm teaching this stuff, so you can quit saying crazy stuff like, you don't need Christ to visit higher realms. You don't get it. You still thinking we talking about a white dude who walked on water. I'm breaking down in you now what Christ is personifying, the crown chakra. So you do need the teachings of Christ to unlock this. They just turned the ancient teachings into a mythological Greek parable way that they can understand it. But everything they said about Christ was true. You just got to learn how to decode it and quit saying you don't need this, you don't need that, and just take everything you give it and use it. So when they talk about, yeah, but I ain't gonna entertain the chat room either. I'm gonna get back and keep on teaching this presentation, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button as well. So yeah, let me continue with this, right? When we say crown, we're saying crown, crown. What? And you can spell it CRAYON. Crayon. A crayon box is representing the crown chakra. You see, all of the ethereal light, all of the light spectrum of reality enters through the crayon chakra. Hold on a second. I just changed the slides by mistake. So here's what we're talking about. The crown chakra was represented by a UFO ship hovering over the human body, beaming up the human body into it. The human body represents the conscious mind, and that basically the light represent you, the conscious body, the macabre around your body. Remember, the physical body got a light body around it. And that beam of light represent the macabre around your physical body. That's what you fly. What happens is the spirit collapses. The chakra system is like a bowl around the body, and each chakra making its own circle, and some circles bigger than others. So these different color circles inside the circles look like a 360 rainbow around your whole body, or onion rainbow, an onion rainbow. And that's what that UFO ship represent. See, all the chakra light is different colors, but each one is their own circle and their own intensity. So it's their own size. Now, what happens is the crown chakra winds up all of the chakras from the root. Like blinds, when you pull up the blinds and it come up, the curtain come up, the blinds come up. The crown, see, that UFO ship sucking you up from the earth represent how the crown chakra sucks up all the other chakras, even the roots. It sucks them all up into the crown, and it flies away to another plane. And then it beams them back down, and when the root get anchored back into that plane, you solidify in that one. So it basically is saying you're being unplugged and plugged into different simulations. And that's what that ship represents. And the crown is the crayon. And the crayon is neutral. If I say, give me a crayon, you'll say, what color? Because the word crayon is the word crown, and it's neutral. And the way they stack up the different color crayons in the box is real spiky, like the crown chakra. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Here is the opening. What I'm about to show you on this next slide is what it looked like. This is what it'll look like if you were to look inside of someone's crown chakra. You'll see all the light of the stars being put into their pineal gland. And it's bursting out of their feet, recycling out the bottom of the earth and back into their head again. We're constantly being fed ethereal energy. That's what's making your heart beat, people. It's more than the wind and water, people. So again, let me do this real quick. Hold on. We got a lot to go over. We ain't even got deep yet, as you can see. You can see by flipping through these slides that we finna get deep later in the series, but we ain't ready to go to that deep stuff yet. Hold up. Let me go back to the beginning of this, because man, I done messed up again. Here we go. Hold on. All right, here we go. This is where we was. This is where we are in the slides. We got to crawl before we walk. So if you look at the image on the left, that's showing you a magnetic energy field. In other words, that's how it will look if you was walking inside of a donut. You will see these two little holes around a pole. This is space and counter space. You know what a donut looked like from the outside. But what about the inside? Can you imagine what it would be like walking around in a donut? That's what we are in the earth. We're in a huge torus field, and surrounding your body is a huge torus field. And the torus field surrounding your body is connected to the torus field, what we call the earth. So what we're saying is here, that connection allows you to transmit your consciousness to other planes that are parallel to this experience. Now, all that exists is different variations of this simulation. So it's the same and different. That's the paradox of reality. Now, what I want to get you to start realizing is that if you were hovering above that human's head, looking at all of the different color light being put into the crown, it will look like this. This is the best image I can get for you. But if we was to zoom out a little bit, you will see it's making a plus sign. It's actually making a plus sign, because as this thing pull in the energy from all the four corners around it, it looked like a plus sign, and this is why we get the Christian cross. This is the great crossing that allowed a consciousness to be transmitted to other worlds. This is what people see when they die, when they say it felt like I was sliding down this spiral of light. Yes, people, you are electrical energy. And just like we transmit electrical current through cords, the Most High transmit electrical current through cord. So upon death, as we journey back through the stars, we're actually electric light traveling through a cord system. This is how information is passed in a computer, through tubes, through wires. What make you think the Most High makes shit any different? In fact, where you think they learned it from? Now, something else I want to point out. It's important, right? Damn, where was I going with all of that? It'll come back to me. Let me get back with my notes. It'll come back to me. So remember this, that it's the crown and root chakra that drives the torus field. All right? Just like a screwdriver. It's the screw being tightened or loosened that causes the bolt to either go up or down. Now, when the screw go down, the bolt go up. When the screw go up, the bolt go down. This is that what I just told you is the universal law that governs all matter in nature. Meaning, if you go inside of a room and slam a book on the floor, when the book go down, dust will come up. You get it now? Every time some go down, some go up. That's the law of the universe. Every time some go left, some go right. Everything balances out with a polar opposite action, cause and effect. So, as the body goes in the ground, the soul goes up, because the body is the physical elements. And if you think of somebody dropping a bag of dirt on the ground, as that bag of dirt make contact with the ground, dust from the bag will go up into the sky. So let me stay on track here, because all of this is going to tie into how reality came into existence. The sky that's above us was created by the Most High making the ground. In other words, the same time the Most High created the ground we walking on, the same simultaneously was creating the ground. I'm going to say the sky. All of the dust that the Most High was kicking up when it was creating this realm became the sky above your head. The different layers of gases that were condensed and molded together in this reality. Think of a construction site. There's a cloud of dust above that construction site because they drilling into the ground. They kicking up dirt. Work is going on. And so they breathing in that dust. Everybody on a construction site. When I used to work at a construction site, I used to clean my nasal cavities out to work. And you see how much dirt up in there. Same thing with humans. The oxygen, the atmosphere we breathe is the dust that was left over from creating the ground we walk on. So the sky above was created at the same time the ground below was created. One wasn't created before the other one. As the creation below was created, the creation above was created simultaneously. So as the ground started to be stirred up in the form of the creator stirring up the dense ocean water, the dust that was kicked up above the creation in the form of the gaseous layers that make up the atmosphere was being stirred at the same time. The ether stirs the elements. Dense forms of the elements exist as gaseous states above this condensed reality. Everything reaches a dense point here, but above your head are the same elements in subtle forms. Water exists above your head as air. Then air exists above that as a least dense form of that. And it just keep breaking down from water to air to helium to so many least dense forms of the same thing until it's just become pure source again. And this is how we break down as we travel up the stairway as well. It's a filtering process. It's a filtering process. So by the time you make it the source, you're at your most least dense form. You're so high up in the sky. You're past the layer of helium. You're past all the light gases. You're past all the wandering stars. Now you exist. What makes you up is all of these different ingredients together in a pot called a body. But when the body don't exist no more, all of these different respected elements go back to their respected locations. It break down and it's everything is filtered. It's just like when you take trash out. You put the plastics in one thing, the aluminum in one thing, and you filter it. So when we breaking down and decomposing, the earthly elements go through the ground and the gaseous elements go through the sky. This is the law of density. This shows you the journey of the soul. So these four corners around the body represent earth, water, wind, and fire. These are the four main ingredients that make up you, and they each break down their own way upon death. You got to give back all of these different ingredients that composed you. And there's an order that they go upon ascension and descension. That's what I'm breaking down to you now. The cosmic journey, or the journey of the Christ, which is you. Because you exist in the middle of your own cross, as you can see. So what I'm teaching you is how to carry your cross to Calvary. What I'm teaching you is the Medinetta, which can be interpreted as the mode of operations for the nettas, which are the luminaries. This shows you how to navigate the underworld. And the ancestors spent their whole life studying the shit that I'm teaching you, not twerk videos and pseudoscience. See, a lot of these people, when they leave the body, they're going to be lost, and the only place they're going to know where to go is back here. The only thing they learned was enough for them to come right back here, and that would be the equivalent of you flunking in school. You learned just enough to bring your ass right back. You didn't learn enough to go beyond to the next grade. And I showed you how you do that by tapping into the crown chakra. This is the connection science what I'm giving you. It's a lot of chakras. The heart chakra, root chakra. We can make videos on each one. But the one I'm focusing on now is the crown chakra, because that's the one that they closed for the past 7,000 years. This is why you ain't manifesting the will of the heart, because the universal influence is not getting through into the crown chakra. You got a doggone cap on top of that thing, and ain't nothing pouring into that cup on your head. And you just been exercising the root chakra, and the root energy been influencing your heart. So everybody thinking with their sex organs in this world. But what I'm doing for y'all is I'm taking the lid off of that cup above your head, and we learning that there's more things that we can ponder on besides twerking, cars, and this physical matrix. And once we start thinking beyond, outside of the box, guess what happened? You leave outside of the box. It's literally that simple. Now, what does it mean to leave outside of the box? I just told you a minute ago about crayons, and the word crayon means crown. Literally. My girl is Vietnamese. She don't say crayon. She say, pass me the brown crown. If you ever listen to an Asian person pronounce the word crayon, they don't pronounce it crayon. They say crayon, crayon, a crayon. And that's how I even decided to go and do my etymology research to break down the word crayon and sync it with the word crown, because I heard my girl say she was coloring with the kids, and she said, yeah, this is my favorite crayon. I said, baby, it's not a crown, it's a crayon. She said, I pronounce it crayon. And I said, that's interesting, because a box of crayons actually look like the crown chakra. That's very interesting. Like, the crown chakra is what? A crown of thorns, and each of the thorns are different colors. And they're layered a different way to make a pyramid, just like they give us crayons. This is deep stuff. Let me see if I can get a full image here, because I'm messing up my whole slideshow right now. Hold on a second. Try to fix this. Apparently it won't let me fix it, but we about to go in, man. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open up a new window. I don't like the way that look. Give me a second, guys, because we about to talk about the crown chakra or the crayon chakra. Give me a minute. I gotta redo my screen shares real quick. It won't take but a second. There go one. And here's another one. Let me actually go ahead, and I'm gonna keep them. Actually, it'll work better if I keep them side by side, just like that. I think that'll work a lot better. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, everybody, give me a minute to set this up real quick. Thank y'all for y'all patience. I'm gonna actually do this like this. We need to get our screen right so we can continue this session, man. All right, I don't want to be messing with this when I get going. This is good enough for me. We'll work with that. All right, so check this out. Right now you can see what I'm doing now. To the left is the crown chakra, and to the right is the crayon box. Now the crown chakra is what creates the box around your body with all of the colors in the rainbow. Listen to what I'm telling you. The crown chakra is spiky. It's spiky, like all of them different points you see going into there. It looked like spikes, like when the Christians told you it's like a crown of thorns. Each thorn is a different color, and they all pour into the pineal gland. So that's why I'm showing you the image on the left. If you can imagine a bunch of different colors, all the colors of the rainbow, pouring into a singularity or a black hole, that would be the box. The cardboard box is a black hole, and all of the different colors is stacked up and layered in that box, and it's spiky. So when they giving you this crayon box, they actually giving you spiritual science to those who know how to look at their reality behind. See, some of us see a different reality when we walk outside. Like if I can give you my brain for a day, you will have so many aha moments just going to the store. Because I see the world different. When you go and look at that movie, They Live, them dudes put them glasses on that let them see the world that was behind the world. That's what I'm showing you now. The occult world. You see, from a simple box of crayons, like when they say truth can be revealed and everything, but it's your third eye open, because really the ethereal realm is speaking so loud to us with symbolism to free us that you ain't got no excuses for not getting the knowledge, other than you didn't open your mind enough when you was living. So you're going to keep getting recycled and reincarnated here. And that's another way of nature saying, to crack some eggs, you got to bang them a little harder up against the wall. And the cracking of that egg is the opening of your crown chakra. You got to film over that thing, man. You got to rip it open so that etheric energy can flow through. You can receive this download. So your egg need to be cracked. We need to crack your head, Negro, so you can open your mind. We're going to crack your head. Head busters around here, flat power. So what we're going to do is crack your head open just like this crayon box, so all of the etheric light will bleed into your dome. Each crayon is a different starlight, a different color. Each light in the sky is a different color. You see them as the same color, but if you get a telescope and zoom in, you'll see each of them little lights is a different color, and ain't now one of them the same. Just like these crayons. And they all bleed into your pineal gland. Each and every last one of us is sucking in our own influence from the luminaries into our own vortex. We all braiding up the starlight into our own pineal gland. We all pulling in that information to our own part. At least I hope we all are. Most of the world ain't, because like I said, they crown chakra closed, so that energy being blocked. Okay. So that would be like this crayon box with the shit closed. Now, can you color with the box closed? If you tell a child, hey, here goes some crayons and a coloring book, go ahead and bring these pictures to life and manifest your will. Color it whatever colors you want, baby. But the rule is, you can't open the box. That child will look at you stupid and start crying because it can't manifest his will. It's got the colors right there to do it. It's got the colors right there to do it, but it won't open the goddamn box. Once you open your mind, you become an artist and you begin to paint your reality and manifest the will you want. Okay? But you got to open that crayon box. Now you got to open up that crayon box. And that crayon box is the crown box. The crown chakra is the great seal. All right, it's like the bottle top to a drink. If you keep that open, the ethereal influence will flow through your being and constantly renew your energy with the influence of the luminaries. But by closing that, you become stagnant in your thoughts to the point where you don't know how to create. You just become a consumer. You don't even have a joy to have creativity or manifest original ideas because you've closed your crown and you're now ruled over by other people's ideas. You're a slave, a consumer. Every human is an inventor. If you look at Men in Black, the first Men in Black, when they walked into Men in Black headquarters, they had all of these little weird creatures in there. and each creature was making their own technology. Did y'all peep that? Once every human is taught this knowledge, every one of us will invent something that no one else on earth can invent, because we all unique. And it'll be so many products on the market that it won't be no need for money. Everybody just will be trading their own inventions that they made, because all of us will be creating so much cool shit that it'll be like walking up in your favorite tech store. We'll just be trading gifts. And guess what's so crazy about it? We do that every year on December 25th, on Jesus' birthday, because they stole this knowledge, y'all. See, when we celebrate Christmas, we exchange gifts that was made by corporations, and as a result, we make them rich. Christmas people commit suicide. But what if every human knew how to build a PlayStation? What if you know how to go in your backyard and make an Xbox? When Christmas come around, everybody will be excited, because you will be happy to give your gift to your neighbor and take their gift, because everybody is geniuses. Like if Bill Gates made you a damn computer, you would be happy to get it. That's his idea, his invention. But what if everybody had a unique invention that was equal as good as the computer? When Christmas came around, we wouldn't just buy other people's inventions. We'll all just be trading our own ideas, because everybody will be creating this cool ass technological shit. Everybody know how to build this shit. But since they hid this knowledge, we all slaves, and other people's ideas is the currency that drives the economy. See what I'm saying? And when Christmas time used to come around in the ancient world, everybody exchanged gifts that they made. So what you got was unique. You the only one on earth that had that shit. Everybody got a PlayStation or Xbox. If your mama sat there and created some shit, man, I'm talking about, and we talking about the ancients know how to manipulate magnetic energy and build all type of cool shit. And each device was unique and was useful, applicable, vibrational instruments, amusement instruments, you name it. So when Christmas time came around, the word Christmas meant that the village came together to exchange the gifts that they put from the ethereal realm. Some of the greatest inventions came when the person was asleep, and they dreamed them in the dream state, and they woke up and made them in the physical realm. So in essence, they created them with Christ consciousness. So when Christmas came around, we exchanged the gifts of Christ. Inventions that was so unique, you couldn't even imagine them if you weren't that person. Like, you'll be surprised when the human open up his mind, all the things we can ponder and create. But we live in a closed-minded world, so when you go to the store, it's just a few products on the market. It's only a few corporations that run the world with a few hundred thousand products. In the ancient world, every human was a corporation creating unique products. And most of the shit you own was unique. You couldn't find it nowhere else. Everything we own today, everybody got one in their house, because only a few people control what's being invented and being pondered into the environment, the physical objects that shape our reality and create our matrix. We only receiving that influence from a few charlatans. But when it was universal, everybody shared unique knowledge. Each human, see, a human ain't healthy if it ain't able to manifest the ethereal will. So the aura becomes ill when you close that crown chakra. And as a result, the human body start behaving weird, meaning it start to do crazy stuff like kill babies, go to war, blow itself up in the name of gods, spend its whole life twerking and doing nothing but being a slave, and don't care nothing about learning its reality around it. Like, that's a weird creature, right? What if you saw a fish behaving like that? Or a monkey? Even animals spend their whole life trying to connect with the environment and preserve their you know, inheritance on this earth, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Everybody but humanity. We try to preserve riches, gold, shoe collections. And when we leave this body, we realize that the most valuable thing we could have ever held on to was our soul and our mind. Because when you lose those, the people who you lost them to literally own your soul and mind. Meaning that the people who govern this plane of existence, if they keep you reincarnating here because you lusting for the things that build this matrix, they own your soul and mind, literally. Because you can't escape to a greater reality, because the only thing you can ponder up is their fucking matrix, their version, their reality. You haven't lived in your whole lifetime, you never sat there and thought to yourself, hey, could there be something better than this shithole reality that they created? There gotta be something greater than this matrix. And yet that imagination is what opens up that portal, that crown. It's the imagination realm that we call an ethereal realm. That's a real place. Thoughts are composed of a very subtle matter called etheric energy. It's the foundation of all matter. So your thoughts can be detected. That thought realm is the most subtle realm in creation, the ethereal realm, where our thoughts live. So every thought that ever's been thinking exists in that realm, because thoughts have to have a place to go. Things just don't disappear. Everything exists when it's created. Even if it's a thought, it has to go somewhere. So the ethereal realm is sort of like a landfill for all human thoughts and emotions. And that is what the primordial sea is. So somebody telling me to get root words out the chat room. I'm gonna take his wrench away, and y'all will be able to time him out when he get out of line. I don't need him acting crazy, man, because I open up this panel all the time and he don't come on it. But when I go to going in trying to give y'all knowledge, I notice he be trolling my chats. Now, I thought he was cool. I have more respect for him if he came on the open panels and stated his arguments. But just trolling my chat, being disruptive when I have open panels and I welcome challenges and he don't show up, is weird behavior, man. I ain't gonna lie, I agree with y'all. It is weird behavior. So as we move on here, man, when you look at this collage in front of you, because I know y'all ready to go to the next collage, but we got to finish this one first. So hold on a minute, let me do something and we'll come back and wrap this up. Well, not wrap it up, but continue. Hold on a second. All right, let's continue here. So before we move on, because we're about to move on to the next slide, let's go ahead and go over just a few more things here, and we'll do that. So again, so you can understand what I'm telling you, let's go back to the thumbnail. If you look around Jesus' head, that would be the crown of thorns or the halo. Now, that halo is all of the different colors of the light spectrum combining at the crown chakra into white light. All the colors together gonna either give you white or darkness. That's what the yin yang represent. So darkness and light, it's the same thing. When you take a bunch of lines of light and you braid them together, it appears darkness. In other words, when you fill up light to maximum capacity, when light becomes dense, it turns into what we call darkness. So darkness is not the absence of light, it is the compression of light. Please write that down. That'll go down in history when I'm dead. They give Albert Einstein all these props when he was a damn dummy. He denied the ether. Now I'm going to say that again. Darkness is not the absence of light. It's the compression of it. It's the absorption of light. It's what happens when light is compressed to its most dense form. It becomes black, darkness. So when you take all of these crayons, each of these crayons represent a light code. In other words, white light don't exist as white light. I want you to listen to me right now. Light, what we call light, it doesn't exist the way we perceive it. We get white light by taking all the colors of the rainbow and putting them together. That's how you create white light. It don't exist as white light. The only way you can get white light is by combining all of the colors in the light spectrum. Other than that, it don't exist. The only way you can get darkness is by combining all of the material colors in the spectrum. You see? When you're dealing with light colors in the light spectrum, and you take all of the colors of light and put them together, it becomes this bright white light. Now, when you're dealing with physical color, when we talk about matter, and you take all the colors in the color spectrum on a material plane and put them together, you get darkness, which is the same thing as light, but it's a more dense form of light because what? Material is more dense than the gaseous realm. This is very simple stuff, y'all. I mean, it's very simple stuff. Hold on, let me go and get the front door. Children getting out of school. I'll be right back. Sorry for all of the interruptions. All right, so what happens to all of those little lines of light being different colors when they get braided up inside of that hole and become one chord? Because I'm trying to teach y'all so much today that I hope you tie it all together, because that's what we do in string theory. The word crayon is the word crown, which is also CROUN, and the word Crown became the word crowd. See, what Christ represent, let me show you what Christ represent. Christ represent all the light of the luminaries crowding up into the crown chakra. It's a crowd of light, or a crown of light. A crowd of light is a crown of light. Now, have you ever been to a football game? Have you ever seen the crowd at a football game? The crowd at a football game looks just like the crayon box. Everything is symbolism, people. They stack the people in the bleachers like colors in the crayon box. This same concept is how all of the dang on light of the luminaries crowds into the crown chakra, or the crown chakra is the crowd chakra. Okay? All the light that make up reality crowds and forms a black hole inside of your brain, and they call that the pineal gland. That's the point of singularity that all of those points of light end up at in your brain. In other words, you plugged into the starlight right now, and if they cut that cord, your body will just drop dead. The soul will literally be pulled up out the body. If someone cut all of them little lines that's pouring into your head, but you can't cut them because it's ethereal energy. It's like trying to cut a magnetic energy field. You can't. The magnetic energy field cuts through this reality. That's why you can't cut it, because it's cutting through you. It's permeating through all things. So, what we need to realize about the crown chakra, or the Christ chakra, is that it's literally the crayon chakra, where all of those colors of light crowds into the box. And the box is your brain, your head. Look at the picture. Your head is a box. That's the factory that drives the body. It's being influenced by the light codes coming in through the crown chakra. All of that energy is crowding up and is influencing you. Each planet, each star. So true astrology, you can't even get into astrology until you get this first. Astrology is pointless until you understand how you connected to the damn stars. How can you be into astrology when you don't even know about your crown chakra and how you even connected? You don't need to be trying to learn astrology if you don't even learn how the stars connect with you. That's you crawl before you walk, all right? So, the crown chakra, again, I don't want to be redundant. I think I can move to the next slide now. We through with this crayon box. I think y'all tracking on me, not tracking with that. We ain't gonna be all redundant. So let me keep this thing moving, man. Next slide. Oh, actually, before we go to the next slide, let's look at this image. See, on the right, we told you that in the middle of that energy field was the whale's mouth that Jonah entered. But this is also the two fishes that Jesus fed the crowd with. Now listen to me. I just told you that the word crowd is the word crown. And y'all don't hear me today. Jesus fed the crowd with the two fishes. We ain't ready to move from this collage yet, y'all. The two fishes are the two, see, when Moses split the sea, and we're going to go over that later, but Moses splitting that sea is how the human splits its own torus field. You in between the magnetic waters of your own creative experience. See, the word Moses just mean Moses. The sea exists as one thing without Moses, but when Moses come, he make the one sea into two seas. So his name is Moses or Moses. He divided the waters, but this is not liquid water. This is ethereal water that's being divided by you. You are Moses. You're the one creating this divided sea. Because you're the hyperboloid in the middle of your own experience, dividing up the waters. Got the devil on one shoulder, angel on the other one. But when they said Jesus fed the crowd with 2 fishes, it's because the influence from all of the starlight that's creating this basket, all of it is being fed into the crowd or the crown chakra. You can see the 2 fishes in the middle. Those 2 fishes in the middle are what's feeding the energy into the crown. Jesus represents that entire hyperboloid in the middle, from the cup at the top to the bottom. That's why Jesus got a Jesus fish. Remember I told you Jesus is YeSHUa. YeSHUa is the God YeSHUa. And YeSHUa represents a magnetic hyperboloid, and Nut is the magnet. She's the Taurus field wrapped around YeSHUa. This is Egyptian cosmology. You see YeSHUa connecting the earth with the heavens, touching his feet with Geb and his hands with Nut. She represents the ethereal energy field surrounding our plane of existence, Nut. That's why her name is Nut, because she's the magnet. She's the magnet. She's the magnetic energy field. She's the net or the nut. And she surrounds YeSHUa, which is the opening. He's the donut hole that allows the energy to shoot into the chimney. So the only way Nut can feed Geb is through YeSHUa, because YeSHUa is this little double-headed cup. Nut is the top half of the circle. Geb is the bottom half of the circle. And the only way she can pass her energy to the bottom is through that YeSHUa. So when you telling a dog to move, you say, shoo, shoo, get out of here. That's what's happening. That's what YeSHUa represent. Energy moving, energy in motion. The energy shooing, swoosh, shoo is going down a chute like a parachute. That's how the energy descending down like a man on a parachute falling in that hole. So his name is YeSHUa because he looked like a dude with a parachute on when he got this dome over him. And we're going to get over that. We're going to go over that later. Now, YeSHUa became YeSHUa with his hands held up on the cross. And they took away the Taurus field. They put him on top of it because Mount Calvary is Nut or the dome. They reversed the cosmology, y'all. We don't live on the surface of a globe. We live inside of a globe. Everything in nature know you live inside of an egg and not on top of the damn shell. So listen. We see here now how Jesus fed the crowd with 2 fishes. You got grown men walking around literally believing that, teaching it to their children. Teaching them that a man fed a crowd of millions with 2 damn fishes. 2 fishes and 2 loaves, my bad. The 2 loaves is the 2 halves of the dome, Nut and Geb. Nut is 1 loaf. Geb is the other loaf. Think of a hamburger. They put a toothpick in the middle of the hamburger to hold it together. And the toothpick in the middle of the hamburger can be seen as YeSHUa. That's what's holding our reality together, people. Think of a shish kebab. What's holding the different layers of vegetables and meat together is the stick. So a shish kebab is a shush kebab. Go and do your etymology now. You ain't gonna get this nowhere else. Because the YeSHUa is like a stick that all of the layers that create reality will fall apart if YeSHUa wasn't right there. If you take this little vortex from the middle of this thing, it'll just dissipate. It's that vortex in the middle that's creating the whole shell of the thing by recycling the energy in and around it, starting from the middle. So look at it this way. What connects the soda in the cup to your mouth? The straw, right? The pole, that straw, right? That straw is YeSHUa. If you look at Egyptian cosmology, he connects the heavens and the earth. He raises his arms, and this is what they said Jesus does with his, ooh, let me calm down. Jesus is an imposter, a ripoff of YeSHUa. But when they taught about YeSHUa, they told you the real sciences. At least I think they did during that time. I don't think it was fully corrupted yet. Could have been. But point being that this is the toothpick in the middle of the hamburger, keeps all the layers held together. All right, without the North Pole, all the layers that stacked upon each other to create reality are just fall into each other. It'll just wobble and unravel. All right, so that's how you got to look at this, and we'll be going into that more deeper as well. Now we see how Jesus fed the crown, or where all the energy is crowding up into the crowd or the crown with the two fishes. These two fishes feeds this crowd of energy, or this crown. All right, now let me quit because I'm being too redundant, and let me move on because I don't want to be making too many of these if I don't have to. So one thing else I wanted to point out about this, when they talk about going into the narrow gate, because you hear that in a lot of Christian talk, Christians say the only way you can access the kingdom of heaven is by traveling through that narrow gate. Here's the narrow gate, people. If you can't fit, see, here's what happened. Hold on a second. Hey guys, like we were saying, Jesus said that the only way into his kingdom is through the narrow gate, because the kingdom of Christ is the king's dome. You the king, and the dome is the dome chakra, the crown chakra. So what happens is, on a macrocosmic level, when we lead a body, just like we manifest our reality by utilizing the crown chakra, the earth has a huge crown chakra at its center, and it transmits information through that portal. All right. So the thing about leaving this reality is, when your soul gets above this, it needs to have enough energy to escape the downward pull. Excuse me. Your soul needs to have enough energy to escape this downward pull. And what happens, it'll reach a threshold where it'll actually be pushed upward to other planes of existence that's beyond this one, around this one. But you got to have enough to escape this realm in the form of opening your mind. Understand that this reality is one of many, pushing the boundaries of your understanding. If you can't load that greater experience, you can't go there. I went over that earlier. Now, when we talk about how energy spirits travel through the Jacob's ladder or stairway to heaven, yes, in order to uh, fit through that narrow gate, Jesus said you had to give up the riches of this world. And that's basically what I told you earlier. You got to be balanced. You can't be craving physical shit every day and still be a spiritual guru trying to spend time to tap into the spiritual gifts. So once you feed your spirit enough, you can pass through the narrow gate. But the flip side to that is to go to higher realms, or what we call heaven, is to actually make your spirit body big by denying your flesh. So when Jesus said you can only make it to my kingdom by building your riches up in the spirit realm, I went over that previously just a minute ago. And what I want to add to that is that the spirit becomes wealthy and rich in that case. And you actually built your kingdom of heaven within your own macabre by manifesting the proper thoughts when you was in the body, because all of them thoughts that you manifested in this body is going somewhere. And guess where they're going? Inside of your own little ball. You filling it with your own thoughts and shit, your own energy. This is what you take with you when you leave the body. So you can create a heaven inside of this thing while in the flesh, so that when you do assume the light body, the spirit, it'll be the genie in the lamp is you. And what's inside of that lamp is determined by you. So the thing is this. We're talking about going through the narrow gate. That's because whenever we're reincarnating on any plane of existence, we're traveling through a hyperboloid. That's what the North Pole is. So this hyperboloid accepts the soul into different planes of existence. And this hyperboloid became to be seen as a gateway. Because if you look at it, it looked like the bars on a gate, right? Like if you think of a fence or a gate, this thing looked like a fence or a gate. And once you try to go inside of the gate with that hole in the middle, you got to get real tight and squeeze in there, you know. But all of the different lines of light are the bars that make that narrow gate that Jesus was talking about. And I'm giving you the images now. These people was dealing with science, and they gave it to the dummies in the form of some dude and a narrow gate and walking on water. This is how they hid it. They made different versions of it. One version for the fools and one version for the occultists who really know what the stories mean. I'm giving you the occult version so we can stop having a bunch of grown folks believing that a damn man turned water to wine. We can stop having a bunch of grown folks believing in fairy tales. You ain't no different than a child that believe in Santa Claus. You believe in Jesus blessing you with gifts. That's your Santa. You believe a man walked on down water. That ain't no different than a flying reindeer. Learn how to read between the lines, or you're going to always sound like a grown idiot who being manipulated to people who are more knowledgeable than you. So going into the narrow gate is why we say let's go deep into the rabbit hole, y'all. The further we go into the rabbit hole with Bro Sanchez, we have a lot of aha moments. Because why? When you put your ear in front of this little Taurus field hole, it sounds like aha, ah. So when you get the knowledge of the Taurus field, you make the same noise. Everything is as above, so below. And as you travel, as you travel down the hyperboloid, in the spirit, in the mind, like we're doing now, your spirit have what they call aha moments. And sometimes you even said aha, you know, if you catch yourself. But it's a reason for that. It's because when you go on into that rabbit hole, that's the sound of it. As above, so below. You'll mimic that once you become enlightened. Once you know, when they had a magicians with the hat and he pulling the rabbit out the hat, that's the rabbit hole. This is the magic. Magnetism is the true magic. And you have the same aha moments that a magician would give you when you're learning this stuff. Because this is nature's magic. She's the true magician. In fact, men couldn't be the damn magicians. You know, you're talking about feminine roles, but we'll get into that later, who the real witches were, magicians. Just remember the root word of magic is ma. All right? Now, let's talk more about this narrow gate. And then we'll hop back to some more word etymology. So you're looking at the narrow gate right now. But what I want to do is start my web tabs now. So check this out. What we're looking at now is the human chakra system. You can see all the chakras that forms the human body. Now this root chakra would be just like this crown chakra, but it'll be the opposite. It'll be an inverted triangle, you know, with the cone pointed up instead of down. You know, what you're looking at there is this cosmic Christ, all right? If you've been paying attention, this is the X chromosome. This is how nature wills things in and out of existence. You got one pointed down, one pointed up. This is your Masonic square and compass. You know, because the G in the middle is that diamond. That G is God, which is really the girl, the woman. And the grounding point that captures the soul in the pregnant belly. The ground you walk on being Mother Earth. It's the mediator point that allows life to exist. So Jesus would be the crossing where both of these things pair up. And think about it. You can't have DNA without them two strands calling up together. And that's what this represents, them becoming one thing, and that one thing is the Christ. You are the Christ existing in the middle of your own cross. And you got to carry that cross up Calvary. If you don't do it, then you will not get anywhere. Now, hold on a second. One more time. Hold on. So, you know, this is self-explanatory if you just look at the collage. And of course, this is the Jesuit cross. Now let's go back to our next slide. So the cone on top of the head is the crown. It's self-explanatory. Why should I go over that? What happens is this. This is the throat chakra. It's blue. It forms a circle around the body, a spiral around the body. Now, all of these chakras, see, each chakra forms its own little circle. Matter of fact, I put the image up a minute ago. Why am I going through all this trouble to explain it when I can just show you right now? Here it is right here. Look in the far left. I'm a crown chakra. From the chakra system. Each chakra is beaming its own little onion layer around your body. That's what's making your aura. The same thing is happening around the earth, y'all. All of these chakras combined culminate to the crown chakra, which is the crowd chakra. Look in the left corner. And it makes a cone on top of your head. It looks like a cone on your head. Now think about what I'm telling you. In our true spiritual state, guess what we are, people? Cone heads. They telling you this shit. They are telling you this shit in Hollywood. And guess what? Laughing at you because you don't even know who you are. We are the cone heads. So you see how in macrocosm, there is a vortex or a cone above the human's head, and they turned that into this. Now, there are some cultures that exist with real cone heads, especially in Ethiopia, the elongated skull. But I think that this is another reference to the crown chakra, man, and the ethereal body, because the cone heads come from outer space. And that's what they say about the ethereal body. They said we're space travelers. We travel the ethereal sea. But they turned it into space, but it's not space. It's not space at all. Take the C and the E off. It's a spa. It's an ethereal sea. It's not space, it's spa. It's not space, it's room, and that's a difference. Room is womb, and it allows us to roam. It's not emptiness, it's room. Okay? Total is a difference, y'all. It's a difference. It's not emptiness. So, these cone heads come from the ethereal realm. Who are the cone heads that exist on the ethereal realm? You're looking at it in the bottom left corner. The macro body is a cone head body that exists on the ethereal realm and occupying the same space as the regular body, influencing the regular body. Okay? So they was showing you some with the cone heads. We do the same thing for birthdays because when you were born, you started loading this simulation. That was when that cone above your head started turning. When you turn something on, you turn a knob. And once it started turning, it ain't gonna stop till you die. When it stops turning, it's synonymous with the heart stop beating. The only time the UFO ship is turning is when it's still hovering above the earth. You ever notice that in the movies? When they beam me up Scotty on the mothership? Hold on. The only time that ship is turning, sorry about this. Only time that ship is turning is when it's hovering above the earth. It's turning right now while it's hovering above you, while you're on the earth. But once the ship picks up the body, it stops turning, the light goes off and it takes off. So what that means is when the body leaves this ship, it's no longer turning and it takes off from the earth. And when it turns again, a body will be in the middle of it. It's the body that's twisting the energy in the middle of the ship. The heart is a doggone vortex. It's twisting all the light and condensing it into the body. This is how manifestation takes place. But when the body ain't there no longer to condense the light, the heart is spinning this. The heart and the body around you communicate with each other to manifest your will. The reason it's called a wheel is because it's spinning. This ship around you is spinning and it's influencing the heart, the mind, to manifest the will of the body. But when the body is no longer living and the heart is no longer beating, there's nothing spinning the energy in the middle of this thing. The heart is what's creating a vortex in the middle of the ethereal body. It's creating a point of singularity, making all that light energy come to a point of singularity, which is you, the human. You, the human, are the result of all of that light condensing to a point of singularity in the womb of your mother. Once your body was formed and the spirit shifted the consciousness into the flesh, the soul started to spin with cosmic influence. And at that point, the only way you can communicate with the soul is through the crown chakra, what I'm trying to teach you now. It exists as another version of you around you, influencing you. So when you're not in the body, you exist as it. And that when you existing as it doesn't need this, is not spinning, because the one that's spinning and trying to be influenced by its higher self and its reality is no longer in its reality. If you ain't making ice cream, there's no need to spin the wheel and churn the butter. Churn the milk. So when you living in this body, you're constantly spinning that torus field around yourself to pull information from that spiritual version of you to manipulate this lower realm. You no longer need to pull information from that higher spirit once you assume it. You get it? The one that's twisting the influence of the soul is the heart, trying to manifest the will of the soul. When that heart stops beating, ain't nothing to tie together them two ends of that macro body, so they loosen and it becomes a perfect 360-degree sort of spirit. It fills up, so to speak. I hope I'm explaining it, simple enough for y'all. But it's the body that's making the root chakra get tied together with all the crown chakras. And it's a knot where they being tied together at the heart chakra. But your heart chakra can only function long as your human heart is beating. It only function as the connection between two worlds long as the human heart is beating. Think about it. Ain't nothing to connect once the human heart stop beating. So in that, what the heart chakra becomes then, it's the seed that remains on the earth plane to reattract the upper self and lower self back to a new experience. In other words, when the body dies, all of the chakras above the heart go to the sky, and all of the chakras below the heart chakra go exit through the ground. And the heart chakra just remain on the earth plane as a reference point, so you can always make it back to this reality that you had. So you'll move on and go to another one, and you'll have another heart chakra. Remember, it's infinite versions of what you are. You ain't losing nothing. But the heart chakra that remain here in your tombstone would be like a little bitty North Pole opening where you bury that. Can't nobody see it because it exists on an ethereal plane. If you go to a graveyard and dig up all the graves and put on some magnetic ferrocell glasses, you will see where all of these people was buried, little bitty tears in the ether where they exited through their own pineal gland. They imploded. So the hole in the ground is a result of the hole in the ether. Now check this out. That is so that soul can always find its way back here. We're time travelers, and you can go in the past, present, and future. This experience is recorded. So that soul can travel back here and reminisce or reponder or relive any experience it had here based upon that checkpoint, like a video game. It's a checkpoint. So the heart chakra remains here. And what happens is the crown chakra collapses all of the experiences, and that's what takes what was you to the next phase of existence. That's the spaceship. And it beams you back down again and make another copy, but the new copy gonna be better than the copy that it left here. And the only way you can tap into this old copy is through that portal over your tombstone. You can reminisce when you didn't even know none of this stuff. The more higher up you go, you can reflect back and look down the mountain at all the old versions of yourself. at all the old grave sites and lifetimes when you was trying to figure it all out. And you're reaching these ascendant levels of existence where you're able to manipulate it all. But there's levels to it. But you're able to look back at all of these old tombstones, rips in the ether, and that is the reference point. You can reload any of those experiences to influence your future. So that's what remains here. That version of you that died, that's a reflection that stays here, and you can always go back and relive that. So as you reincarnate in a future life, you may have a dream that you was on some shit called the internet, looking at YouTube, listening to some dude named Bro Sanchez. And you may not be able to make sense out of that dream in one of your future lifetimes when you become enlightened and move beyond Israel. It'll exist as a dream that you can always go back to. But when you go back to the dream, you can't take the knowledge of the new you back here. Because when you reminisce and reload this experience, you got to reload it in the level of consciousness you had. So that dream, you'll wake up in that new body like, hey man, I dreamt I ain't know none of this stuff. I ain't know how to fly. I ain't know how to teleport. And I was some dude that lived in Chicago watching a YouTube video with some dude named Bro Sanchez. And they had some stuff called the internet where they was passing their information. They weren't even using telepathy. And all them enlightened beings will start laughing. They'll say, that was a nightmare. You'll be like, yeah, that's weird. And you won't even be realizing that you just dreamt one of your past lifetimes. But you was able to dream it because the you that died here never really died. It exists as a memory, as a realm that you can revisit. So I hope y'all see how this Christ consciousness works. This is what connects the past, present, and future. This is why Christ said, don't worry about your dead loved ones. It don't matter how old they are. You're going to see them again because you exist outside of time. The higher up you go up this mountain, you get to manipulate time. Time is created by the elements. Remember that. Christ controls the elements. But your level of control over those elements is determined of your level of perception and understanding, level of consciousness you own. So you were born here because this is a certain classroom. You need to learn something here to get you to the next phase. Now let's move on because we were talking about the cone heads. You can see the crown chakra is the cone on top of the head. If you look at Horus, in the top right corner, you got a bird called Horus. We already talked about him. But you often see this little circle on top of Horus' head. That circle on top of Horus' head is the opening of the crown chakra. Just like you see in the bottom left corner. They just drew it a different way. All right? So people will stop saying, that's the sun on top of his head. People don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, we're going to continue our slides. So look at the crown chakra on the right? Look at the human being and look at the crown chakra. Now what we're going to do is flip over here, pull up the thumbnail, and now you see why Jesus got that halo on his head. Look at Jesus with the halo around his head and look at the human with the crown chakra. I don't even got to say nothing. Like, my work's so easy because I pull up the visuals. They say a picture worth 1,000 words, so I don't even got to talk. Matter of fact, I'm going to just shut up and flip between it for a minute. I don't even got to say nothing. This proves my point what the Christians stole this stuff from us, man. They giving you this phony imposter with that thing around his head telling you you need to worship him and do all this shit for him if you want to get blessings. That ain't true. Ain't none of them Christians in that church living like they fucking want you to think. Jesus ain't blessing them. I was a Christian. Most of them in there every Sunday because they pain, they going through something and they hurting. They giving they blessings to the damn preacher. Jesus ain't blessing them with shit but a hard time. Now, the way they can truly get their blessings if they realize they are the Christ and start manifesting their heaven on earth, tapping into their own Christ energy, their own crown chakra, and they can talk to the heavens to themselves, and they don't need this damn middleman saying, come through me to get to manifest your will on earth. You don't go through Christ. You don't go through this dude to manifest your will on earth. You go through the center of the self like I'm showing you. You go through the journey of the rabbit hole. You go through this crown chakra. You go within. Listen to that voice around your body influencing you, because the spirit know why it brought the body here. The spirit know what mission it sent the body on. So when you start listening to that voice whispering in between your ears, you'll start manifesting your true destiny while you was born, like Brother Sanchez doing. I'm living out my experience like Christ. Christ know why he was born. That's the difference between Christ and everybody that worship Christ. Christ know why he was sent to the earth. Because he was listening to the ethereal body that made the flesh. The ethereal body is what put the flesh together in the womb of the mother. And it sent the flesh here on a mission. And until the flesh learned what the mission was that it was sent here for to do from the ethereal body, it would do the mission of its enemy for the rest of its life. It would do the mission of the one that wished to do you harm. You won't be manifesting your own will. You'll wake up every day miserable on a goddamn job, hoping you can go swim in the damn ocean. It ain't your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It's the will of your goddamn boss that's gonna be done till you die if you want to pay your bills. So how do you escape it? How do you tell your boss one day to kiss my ass? The truth set me free and now I'm getting paid doing something I want to do. I know why nature... The truth gonna set you free in all ways. Nature know that you need money in this reality. That ain't got nothing to do with why your spirit sent you here on whatever mission it was. You will carry out that cosmic mission and still receive a pay. I'm doing it. You ain't gonna be rich like Jay-Z, but you're gonna have enough money carrying out the will. And you'll be rich in the spirit. You'll be able to go on to your next destination. The people carrying out the will or the corporations gonna keep coming back here till they carry out they fucking will. That's the way this shit work. So if you're a slave in the flesh, you're a slave in the spirit. The corporations got people reincarnating to come work their jobs again, y'all. If the soul created the flesh to come here and experience a certain experience and it didn't do it, guess what? The soul will keep on creating that flesh in this realm till it do what the fuck you want it to do. The body ain't gonna override the will of the soul. Don't be a fool. We understand manifestation happen in the form of a thought before you ever take an action. The soul gonna get what the hell it want if it have to reincarnate you to this motherfucker 1 trillion times. That's called hell, repetition. The soul created you and told you to come here on a mission. And you got distracted doing everybody else's mission. So the soul gonna keep on sending your ass back till you do what it told you to do. That's called reincarnate. That's flunking, man. You got to move on from this realm to the next assignment. All right? So, again, we see how they told everybody if you want to manifest your will, you got to go through Christ. When the ancestors said in order for the human to manifest his will, they got to go through crown. They turned crown or cross or Christ or caress into Christ. And I went over the word etymology earlier. I'm not going to do it again and be redundant. We're going to continue with some more word etymology right now, dealing with the crisscrossing of the crown. Because when we talk about the crown, all of the ethereal light crisscrosses into that portal. And I told you crisscross became krios. The word krios became the word grios, the word Greece, Greece. All right? I already went over that. Greece is crease. A ripple is a crease. We're talking about the ether. Why is this important? Because when you say krios, the word krios became the word kriot. C-R-I-O-S is what you get when you mix Chris with cross, you get Creoles. But over time, Creoles became Creote with a T. C-R-I-O-T. Today we call it a griot. Google it, look it up. G-R-I-O-T is a guru, a teacher, a spiritual, a Christ is a griot. So you see how the crisscrossing of the crown went from Creoles to Creote to griot, which is a Christ. All right? So I'm not taking any questions right now. I'm not looking at the chat room. I'm teaching from my notes. This is not Q&A. You need to write your questions down so when I do Q&A, y'all will have them ready. Because a lot of time I do Q&A and people don't have a lot of questions. But when I'm not doing Q&A, y'all be having good questions. So write them down for your boy and let me get them when I do the Q&A because I'm going to need them then. I'm going to really need them then. So when they talk about the moon gobbling up your soul when you die, the Pac-Man moon matrix, it's because the crown chakra looks like the moon. We know the moon is a silver bright circle. And people been misinterpreting this symbolism for so long, turning it into spookism. The consciousness is transmitted through the crown chakra. And it looks like the crown chakra is gobbling up the soul. And the crown chakra looks like a Pac-Man eating up the other chakras. This is why they got the Pac-Man gobbling up the little dots. Because if you look at the crown chakra on the right, when you die, it gobbles up all the other chakras. Basically, they all fly into the crown and you're transmitted to another plane and it spits back out again and beam you back out. So the crown chakra is the whale's mouth that swallowed Jonah and spit him back out. This is teleportation. So that crown chakra above your head is the UFO ship above the human. And it's beaming a light beam down. That's the whole chakra stacked on top of it. When it's sucking you up from the root and it's pulling up the root chakra. And as it pulls up the root chakra, it collects all the other ones on the way, just like your blinds. Just like when you pull up your blinds on a window, it's pulling up the bottom one, and that bottom one pulling up the rest. So the crown chakra is like blinds, and it pulls up all the rest of them, and it basically compresses them, then it collapses them again when you reincarnate. This projection is teleportation. So they call this the Pac-Man moon matrix because the crown chakra looks like the moon and it gobbles up the soul. All right? Cool. Very, very simple stuff. Now you're going to be witnessing this when it happened. It's going to play out to you. From your perspective, it's going to seem like you're have you ever been to a water park and you got on a water slide, a tube slide? That's how it's going to feel to you when you die. Because you are information. You are light energy passing through a dark cord called a crown or the North Pole. When you enter that light, it's dark to you. So a way you can see what that'll be like is look at the image on the left. That'll be, I'm giving you space and counter space. I'm showing you that what composes your soul is the chakras. And how the soul transmits itself is by compressing all of the light into the crown, and the crown becomes the vehicle chakra, or the UFO chakra, the portable, and it's detachable, it's portable. The word portable has the same root word as portal or porthole. The word North Pole used to be porthole. You can see the resemblance, North Pole, porthole. So what you realize, this is how we teleport. And I'm showing you how it look on the right. Right? All those chakras are flying to the mouth of the crown. But on the left, I'm showing you how you're going to experience it from your perspective when it happens to you. All right, now that we get a visual of that, we can go to the next slide. This is how the ancestors personified it. Okay? What I'll do, just so I don't confuse you, I'll take that one off because we don't need it right now, and we'll just focus on this one for a minute. All right, because what you see on this image predates Christ, and I'm going to take a minute now, because now my blood getting worked up. When I start dealing with the prehistoric figurines, I got a lot of respect for this ancient stuff. If you look at how intricate the carving is, they put a lot of work into this thing. It's hand worked, people. They was trying to tell us something. It was that important that they did this intricate work. And somebody took this image that you see on the screen that our ancestors left us, and they corrupted it and they turned it into this imposter on the right. Take a minute, because we about to go deep now. We about to get into the plagiarization now. But I got to go and get me a cup of water. Get me something to drink real quick. Give me 1 minute. So everybody, we are back, and at this portion of the video, we're gonna go into a little of the plagiarization why everybody associate this crown chakra knowledge to Jesus today, and they don't realize this is spiritual technology that predates Christianity. All right. So this knowledge of the crown chakra was known by the ancients prior to Jesus or YeSHUa. And what you're looking at in the bottom left corner again is the energy above the human. That is the crown chakra energy pouring into the vortex being the human heart. I'm not going to be redundant with that. The cosmic Christ energy show you that that top pyramid would be all the energy pouring into. Jesus represent the heart chakra, where the energy connects and a knot happens there. A knot happens. Now, the word knot is the word noose. Hold on a second. My computer just told me I got a virus and I need to take an action. Wow, people. I'm giving y'all too much knowledge. I'm giving you too much knowledge. Hold on a minute, because it turned red. Hold on. Yeah, it's saying run a scan right now, bro. We found some malware. Somebody trying to attack me while I'm live. People hit the like button and make them mad. We're going to run this scan right now. It's important. Hold on a second. We're going to let that run. I don't care how many people leave. That shit turned red. Y'all going to have to wait. I'm sorry for all the interruptions. I'm going to edit these, but yeah, buddy, I'm going to run this scan real quick. I pay money for this program, and it's going to get that shit right on up off of there for me. Whoever trying to do whatever, trying to see cyber attacks, man. Cyber attacks. Y'all ain't going to stop this thing, though. While I'm live in real time. There's somebody trying to, you know, get through your damn firewall with some suspicious malware. Y'all, I'm giving y'all too much knowledge. Hold on, it's almost done. Matter of fact, we're going to let it run in the background. So Jesus represents a knot, and we're going to talk about that later, that knot, because there's a reason we call our nose a nose. And but why am I skipping so far ahead of the place? Let me stay on track here, man. A lot of distractions get me off track. You know, it's just hella distractions. So let me go back here and talk about the crown chakra, because I'm getting all over the place. Here is an ancient mushroom stone found in Guatemala, and it was around 1000 BC, and showing you that prior to what we call modern Christianity, people had quote unquote Christ consciousness. Now, the word crease is important because a crease is a ripple, and manifestations is about having willpower that's so strong that the vibration creates a ripple that will distort the ether energy around you. Whatever city you live in, whatever state you live in, you're trying to get on your feet, make stuff happen. You got to want it bad enough, just like they say, because that willpower is vibrational. That right there is what spins this macro body faster and faster. So as your heart desires something, it assumes a certain rhythm to manifest that desire. And the rhythm that the heart assumed to manifest that desire starts to make the macro body, what they call, get hyperbolic. And once your macro body start getting excited, by the will of the heart, because remember, the heart is what's tying together that light that's creating the outside shell of your macro body. So how it's spinning, that tying in the middle, determines how fast or slow the energy is being recycled in and around the body, because the energy is in motion. The motion is determined by how the heart spins those threads of light, okay, at the center. And that's called willpower. You're spinning the wheel. The wheel is around your body. That's where you plant the seed at, because that's connected to the ether, which everything in the world is connected to. So no matter what you're trying to do on this earth, if the vibration inside of your heart, if your willpower reach a hyperbolic state, your aura will be in a frenzy type state. The light body around you will be spinning so fast that you will begin to attract those people to you. The ether is the thought realm. So doors will start opening. You'll start meeting people like, damn, I wanted to get into the film industry. Now I just met this producer, you know, all of a sudden, because you wanted it that much and you put yourself in the right places following your heart. You don't go nowhere. You bring it to you. Because no matter where you at on the earth, once you become hyperbolic in that thing that you're willing, your little macro body vibrating so fast begin to disturb everybody around you. So everybody start knowing who you are. You start getting, this is synonymous with your rise to fame. The more that etheric body starts to get hyper with the will of your heart, whatever you trying to, if you trying to be a gardener, then you start becoming very famous. Even though if it ain't your aim to become famous, but this the law of attraction. The more hyperbolic that your ethereal body get, the more people is going to attract to you for whatever that is you willing. So if you're in the gardening community, you'll be the top gardener if you vibrating the highest. If you were a football player, you'll be the top football player if you're vibrating higher. Just giving you examples. And why we can see that vibration under a ferrocell. See, because your ethereal body is moving so damn fast and it's in a frenzy. Everybody else shit's just chilling. They don't want nothing that bad. So no matter what you're doing, you will attract a crowd. These celebrities are living out their will because their ethereal body is vibrating for whatever they're trying to carry out, whether it be good or evil. It'll attract that frequency. So think of rappers. They attract dope dealers and shit, you know? Even regular people who may not be living that life, they're attracted to that kind of life. So it will, like energy will attract. And it's like a net system. Because the energy of a rapper like Chief Keef, if you were to look at his aura, it looks a certain way. And if you go to one of his concerts, all the people at his concerts, their aura looks similar to Chief Keef's. They say your vibe attract your tribe, your vibration attract your nation. Everybody tune in to me. If you examine our auras, you will see similarities. And you'll see similar speeds and vibration and things like that. So a person that's hyperbolic with a new concept becomes an icon. Because think about it. If you got a vibration in the water, it'll attract all the fish. I used to go fishing. And some fish, you don't even need bait. All you got to do is just put your hook in and out the water. Keep putting your hook in and out the water, and the vibration, they'll think it's a fish and just bite at the vibration. Because they really hunting using the vibrational senses. They can feel the water vibrating and they strike. Hold on a second, guys. So we're dealing with vibration like if you go in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean, and create a big vibration, it will attract sharks and all type of fish because they'll think it's some kind of feeding frenzy going on. That's how they find a feeding frenzy. When it's a big feeding frenzy in the ocean, fish is mile away that can't even see it know what's going on because they can feel it in the water. They can feel the vibration of the water of all them fish having a frenzy, even if it's miles away, and they follow that vibration to the feeding frenzy. So it's a vibration around your body, and the bigger the vibration, the more people you attract to you. I know, trust me. I know. Not trying to be egotistical, but I practice what I preach is what I'm saying. So Christ drew crowds because Christ knew what I knew, even though he was a mythological character. I'm telling you the knowledge of the Christ, why he was able to draw the crowd, raising his vibration. Now, let's get with some more syncretism here because we about to dig deep, folks. We about to go deep. Hold on. Wait a goddamn minute. Let's go back to this bull crap because look to the right at that imposter. I want to put the spotlight on him. Look around that imposter's head. Johnny come lately, plagiarizing the ancient science in front of you. I got to highlight this because plagiarization must be highlighted. You don't, anytime you get this kind of plagiarization decoded, even if people be like, man, you said that already, keep saying it. This is, the ancestors love when you expose this shit. See, the ancestors saying right now, get them, Sanchez, show them how they stole our shit. Show them that they stole our shit and twisted it and turned it into some bull crap. And I'm doing it too. I'm doing it too. And I ain't even gotta talk. All I gotta do it, because the ancestors didn't say it, they just say show it. And all I gotta do is show it. That's what I'm gonna do. Look at that. Look at that plagiarization. Look at it. Now let's move on, man. Let me show you more plagiarization. Look at it. They gave you toadstool. You know what? The toadstool is a personification of the ancient umbrella stone, but you wouldn't know that. You probably never heard of the umbrella stones because you don't do no research. I'm talking crap. Y'all know I'm just crump. I love y'all. This don't apply to the people who, do the research. Just the people who talk crap without doing it. I know what I'm talking about. They've been corrupting this stuff for so long. They turned this to a daggone cartoon character on South Park. This predates all of they baloney. This predates all of they baloney. You lucky I can't find that cartoon character with the little hoodie on. It ain't that, well, yeah, it's this one. This the one. Found it. This the one right here. See? This the astronaut with the astronaut helmet on. You see the yoni, Vesica Pisces. All right? This is what they giving you right here, folks. In order to fix the car, you got to pop the hood. Now the car is the car. The car. The car. All right? The car surrounds the body. In order to fix the car, you got to pop the hood. Now the hood is the crown, meaning you got to open your mind. You got to pop that hood, baby. Here it is right here. You got to pop that hood, baby. You got to open this up to get the revelation. And then you can kiss the bride, because the bride is just the bridge. But you don't get to kiss the bridge. You don't make it to the bridge till you pull the hoodie off. You can't walk in my store with a hoodie on. That's how the Most High say, you got to marry yourself. This is a revelation. So, want to learn some esoteric science? Who wore a hoodie and was sacrificed to the Illuminati with a rainbow bag of Skittles? Trayvon Martin, whose daddy was a Mason. A ritual sacrifice, folks. He wore a hoodie and they made him die with the Skittles being the rainbow. And that's because when you see that hood over his head, that's esoteric science, folks. You're looking at the rainbow over the human, and the same thing over the earth. Here you go. Bottom left corner. There's a hood over the earth. There's a hood over you. Because as above, so below. And we'll talk more about this collage later. But you can see why Trayvon had the hoodie symbolism and the rainbow symbolism, while his daddy was Masonic. All right? Now, let's continue this though. Ain't through. We see that this character in Mario is a plagiarization of these ancient toadstool figurines or mushroom stones. They call them toadstools. They call them umbrella stones. Okay? These little umbrella stones been in South America before Christians set foot on this continent. Did you hear me? These little umbrella stones was all over South America way before Christians even came over here. So how can they take this image and turn it into this image? Look at Christ, right? Christ is a personification of the umbrella stone. And the umbrella stone is because the ancients found the gateway up out of here. They found how to connect with the and beam up out of here via the crown chakra. So the UFO saucer is right here. Open up your third eye, people. Look at it. Look at it. This right here is a plagiarization of this right here. Syncretism at its best, folks. You know you're doing some good syncretism when you ain't even really got to talk. You can just do this. This is the missing key, y'all. Open up your third eye. I'm trying to help you. Sacred geometry is the way. This is the human body. This is the only way nature creates. Can't you see it around you? The way the sunlight shines from the sun. The train on the track coming down straight at you, connecting all the other trains. This is the first train because this is the symbol. This is the keyhole that allows you into the gateway. It is the keyhole. This is the Ankh, the Egyptian Ankh. It's the microphone that the soul uses to speak, y'all. Don't it look like a microphone? You can't escape the symbolism, baby. I just got to do this to lock this into your pineal gland. I'm going to do that for a reason. I'm going to be a little redundant. because this is the umbrella stone, okay? And it was corrupted, man. I got to just show you the corruption. Like, the ancestors love it when I show how they shit was corrupted. Look at here. Boom. Boom. They said the missing key, the missing link. I'm giving it to you, this symbolism. Now let's move on. Because the ancients been tried to tell you that. Here it is right here. This is the umbrella stone. Umbrella stone is the crown chakra. Why did the ancestors carve them things all over the place? They was celebrating this knowledge. They never wanted people to forget. They want future generations to remember how to connect with their crown chakra, their umbrella stone. Otherwise, they will be trapped in this reality. I'm going to show you one more time because some of y'all don't get it. Without the knowledge of this umbrella stone that the ancestors showing you on this picture, guess what, folks? You can't unlock the door. That's what the symbols is teaching us, man. How many of y'all getting that? This is what keep people reincarnating to this matrix right here. You can't make it through the gateway if you ain't got the key. And the key is the crown. Have you ever played Mario before? Anytime you go and see Toadstool, you inside of a key house. And you got a key to unlock the treasure chest. And it's a gift inside of that thing. Whoever played Mario 3? Let me go to it. Here you go. When you meet Toadstool, he got gifts for you. He coming with gifts. But guess what? If you don't got the key, you can't unlock none of them treasure boxes to get neither one of them gifts. And if you don't got the key to unlock one of them treasure boxes right here, you get stuck inside of here. Because the treasure box is also your way out. Anybody who play Mario 3 know what I'm talking about. When you go inside of one of these mushrooms, if you ain't got the key, it's game over. You might as well hit reset. Even though that'll never happen, I'm just showing you what'll happen if you went inside of one of these and you didn't have the key. You forgot the key or something, lost the key. Because the only way out of this mushroom is into one of those smaller treasure boxes. That's what Jesus talking about, the narrow path. Now, when you open that up, you get a gift out of it, but that is your way back out into the regular game. That's what this teaching you. This is to help you on your way up the magic mountain. This is what Toadstool represent. Now we're about to get real deep here now. Let me go back to Toadstool again. Now, what are we looking at here? That if you don't unlock the knowledge of the crown, all of that knowledge inside of Toadstool's brain, what makes him so smarter than Mario, all right, he got the key. That's why he's shaped like a keyhole. And you can't unlock the secrets of creation without opening up your crown chakra or your umbrella stone. And it'll trap you here in this reality as a closed-minded soul. And a closed mind got closed doors. This is I'm trying to give you the Christ knowledge. You can't fit through the narrow gate until you open the mind. Now let's move on, because when you look at the God YeSHUa, I want to show you something. I'm going to go to another version of the Egyptian cosmos because I want to make a point with the God YeSHUa. When you look at YeSHUa, because now we about to drive this home, and this is going to be the climax of the presentation, and I'm going to let y'all go. Because the whole thing what I'm teaching you about this Christ consciousness, hold on. Let me get a one if my audio is good and everything been rolling good. Somebody out there saying we waiting, bro. And somebody saying interruption. Lisa Vask. What's going on? We got an interruption. Everything all right? Let me get a one if we good. All right, cool. We're going to keep going. Because now we finna go so deep that y'all going to be like, boy, now I see why the title of this video is the title of this video, that Jesus is YeSHUa, and YeSHUa is the god Shu in Egyptian. Now let's get it. Give me a minute. Now, look at this image in front of you, right? First of all, before we even get into Jesus, let me even show you what you're looking at so you can sync it to everything else I just showed you. When you look at Shu with this dome over his head, being the goddess Nut, guess what you're looking at, people? It's the same thing. You should have just had an aha moment without me even having to say nothing. Like I said, I teach with images. Shu with the dome over his head, it's the same thing this figurine is teaching you. The world don't see this stuff. They making it all different stuff. And it's chaos today. When all of the ancients was saying the same thing, there's only one truth. But when you divide that thing up to beliefs, you get world religions. And this image in front of you turns into this damn imposter. I'm gonna keep putting the spotlight on his punk ass. Yeah, I got a chip on my shoulder for this image. It corrupted me and made me corrupt others when I was going through the indoctrination. And it kept me from knowing the truth that the ancestors was trying to teach me here. It was a distraction. It was a plagiarization. And because of that, I dedicate the rest of my life exposing the deception. So again, Egyptian god Shu is YeSHUa, or the Christ. Here he go with his hands raised with the two thieves on each side. The reason they call him Shu because etheric energy can be explained. The energy falls into the hyperboloid in a balanced way like a parachutist. Hold on a minute. Let's do something right quick. All right, let's do this. Let's go here and let's show you why his name is Shu. This fish right here represents the body of Shu with his arms raised and his feet down. This is his feet, the bottom opening, and his arms raised is the top opening. Same thing here. When the parachute is falling to earth, he got his arms raised to balance the energy. You see, this is how he steer the wind and go from left to right. So a parachutist got to raise their arms. If they don't raise their arms, they'll start spinning and they'll kill their damn self. That's balance, man. If that man just let both of his arms down, that shit gonna start spinning around and around. He gonna get dizzy as hell, get disoriented, and then he'll get off track, and before he know it, he on the ground as a damn on soup, splatter. That's his steering wheel. That's how he gets safe landing. That's how you connect the heavens with the earth and you was able to land safely in the womb of your mama. By practicing this same science. Balance, magnetism, toroidal flow. Because he's balancing the winds. And that's what's happening here. This structure is balancing the etheric the ethereal winds and forming it into a balanced structure that we call a torus field. And when you balance that wind out and bend it to make this structure, you even it out on all sides, and it creates this spirit, this tense little bubble. But the same law we see with that tension there is why the parachute is able to have a safe landing. He's capturing that wind in the chute and harnessing it for a safe landing. That's all going on when you look at this. The energy is being captured in the top and balanced out as it's being squeezed and stretched out in the middle and calibrated. And because of that, it's a perpetual motion. This is the secret of how nature creates energy. All that exists is energy, but generating energy is about putting it in motion. Putting it in motion, okay? And this shows you the pattern of the motion you need to harness that energy to be able to utilize it or tap into it. And YeSHUa represents that. In fact, the word YeSHUa is the word chew, like when you chew your food, because that's what happens in this image. All of the energy get chewed up or shooed up. So it became the god YeSHUa or chew. So the god YeSHUa represents an opening that connects the goddess Nut with the god Geb. Just like this parachute is open and it connects this damn man to the ground without him killing his damn self. It's a way to balance out all the energy on earth so the earth can sustain itself and renew itself and have some kind of draining system to let stuff leave and enter to be washed and renewed. All right? Very simple. Same thing this parachute is doing, and that's why he's called a parachutist. That's why the word shoot is in the word parachute, because the concept of how to land safely was learned by studying the god YeSHUa or chew. You can hear the doggone parachute chewing up the wind. What you got to realize is the parachute material is such a strong material, but it's not, it's still hollow, all right? What you got to realize is that that parachute has holes in it, okay? Very, very fine holes in it. Any material is hollow. It's just that the smaller the holes, the less, the more air the device capture. But it still needs to allow air to pass through the thing. It just needs to slow the air down. Put it this way. If you start poking big ass holes in that parachute, it won't serve a purpose. The air will pass through it so fast, it'll hit the ground and turn into a doggone pancake. But by the parachute being made out of a very strong, fine material that allow the wind to slow down as it passes through the chute. This is basically filtering the wind, and this is what is happening on a cosmological level. Nut is a filter. Another way you can look at it is like this right here. I want you to pay attention to if you look at Nut like a pizza, because she is the pie, which is the woman. The pie slice is the veg. You can see she is a triangle, and YeSHUa is spinning her around. This is like a child with a birthday hat on, getting itself dizzy, spinning around. This is why we wear birthday hats. Every time we complete a full spin, it marks a birthday when our crown chakra started spinning. Remember, when you was born, your macro body start to spin to influence your earthly body. So it basically, another way of saying activating you, turning you on. The body is powered by the spirit. So as the spirit turns around the body, the heart beats and they're connected. And they manifest their will through the mind, the heart, and the spirit around it. Now check this out. When you were born, a vortex opened. And the human body start to pull in the influence of the spirit. And that's how the crown chakra and root chakra was formed. When the body was formed, the heart start to pull in the ethereal influence from above and below. And that's how this whole Taurus field started spinning. Now, when that spinning started to happen, your life began as a human being being influenced by the soul around you. Now, every time that ethereal body reaches a full revolution from the day you was born, we call it a birthday, and we put you on one of these hats, what this dude got on right here, what the ancestors wearing. This is a birthday hat. Why do we wear a cone-shaped hat for our birthday? Because your birthday represents a full revolution of your ethereal body. Your ethereal body started spinning the date you was born. Every time it completes a full revolution, you put this hat on to remind you when it started spinning. So this is called a spinning top. When we was little, we used to have these spinning tops, and they shaped just like this, and you spin them around. All right? Now, let's continue. As you can see, YeSHUa ain't just holding Nut up. He's holding her up and he's spinning her around, okay? He's spinning her around. Just like the man making the pizza. All right? That's what you got to realize about this. You know, there's a science and there's symbolism to all of this. So everything from the man expanding the pizza dough, that would be the expansion of the ether, what they call dark matter is expanding and the universe is expanding, a bunch of crap. It's a toroidal field, and it stretches and it compresses. It contracts and expands. So it's not just gonna continue to fucking expand. It's gonna reach a point where it's sucked back in again. Just like you inhale and exhale, the Taurus field inhale and exhale too. Now listen, because I'm about to go deep here. As the Taurus field contracts and expands, we go through dark ages and light ages. You hear me? As it contracts and expands, it controls how much etheric information can enter the earth. So there's an opening in the middle of the earth, and that opening gets big and it gets small. When it's at its smallest point, humanity experienced dark ages. When it's open the widest as it can be, humanity experienced what's called golden ages. So we go from dark ages to golden ages based upon this hole in the middle of the earth contracting and expanding, inhaling and exhaling. So when you think about it, the dark age is inhale and the golden age is exhale, because the earth is breathing, and inhale and exhale is the expansion of human consciousness as well, because we sink to the earth. And since all of this etheric information is being fed to us from the North Pole. It's just like a hose pipe. If you got a small hose pipe, ain't a lot of water can come out of there. But if you got what the fire department got, you can skeet a lot of water out. So in the middle of the earth, the North Pole is contracting and expanding over thousands of years, they say. And as it contracts and expands, it's allowing more or less ethereal influence to influence man on earth. And because of that, we go through dark ages and golden ages. And it's called inhale and exhale because man is in a hellish moment, or we exiting hell. Now, for the past 7,000 years, it ain't been a lot of information coming through. We just leaving a dark age. The North Pole is expanding now. It's opening back up, and we call it the awakening. It's allowing this etheric information to enter the earth, this Christ consciousness. That's why I'm able to interpret the shit. All right, it's a spiritual war going on between flat earth and occultists. And it's the same war been playing out since they rose to power 3100 BC. They was coming out of a dark age. At least they said they were. What was happening was the beginning of a dark age. They lied to you. We've been in a dark age for the past 7,000 years, folks. We leaving the dark age now, going into Aquarius. And that's synonymous with the opening of the North Pole. If you follow Martin Kenny, he'll talk a little bit to you about that opening with the 2020 vision. He'll talk to you about this nuclear 2020 vision and the expansion of the Christ energy from the center of the earth. If you want to go deeper on that, how that's going to play out in the future. I'm showing you how it's going to play out on a personal level with you right now, in the past, present, and future. The videos he's going to show you going to go even deeper than this to show you how it'll look and how it will control the world governments on a macro level dealing with humanity as a whole. He goes a little bit into other perspectives I think is interesting. But this hole at the middle of the earth is transmitting information, influence, starlight influence into our crown chakras. And as it contracts and it expands, it controls how much of that ethereal information humanity get. And again, because of that, we go through dark ages and golden ages. We call it inhale and exhale. Either we in a golden age or chaotic age where we inhale or we exiting hell. So you get what I'm saying when I say inhale and exhale. And this is also the ethereal winds, breathing, okay? Reconnecting us with that Christ consciousness. And when we're not being reconnected with Christ consciousness, we're being reconnected with its polarity. All right? Would be the root consciousness, what we've been in now. So once we get so full of ourselves, we remember that we're gods and it's the end of a dark age. All right? We get tired of dancing and we decide we want to compose the music now and we become creators again. So this is the dance of man's consciousness throughout the ages and the fight of negative and positive. You need them both because man don't understand where he is during his golden ages if he can't compare them to his dark ages. This is the law of polarity. How do you know you good if it ain't no such thing called bad? All right, it's just balance, folks. Now, let's move on here with this. Because you get what I'm saying with YeSHUa being Jesus. Jesus is Shu. All right. Jesus is also Buddha. Here is Buddha right here. Now, why does Buddha sits under a lotus tree? Why do they tell you Buddha is always sitting up under this tree? Because you are Buddha, sitting up under your own tree of life. being the soul around the body, being casted out from the crown like a flower, like a lotus flower on top of your head. In fact, the Egyptians would put the lotus flower on their head to symbolize the crown chakra, energy blossoming or budding out of the crown. See, the energy buds out of the crown. That's why we call this God Buddha or Buddha. He represents the budding of a flower. But you can say this flower is budding or is booting. All right? Buddha is butter. Flower buds. It spreads its wings like what? A butterfly. Now, let me break some knowledge down to you. Here is the true butterfly, the spirit. Now, let me break some down in you, because we spell butterfly B-U-T-T-E-R, but guess what? That's just to hide the knowledge from you. It used to be spelled Buddha fly. Yep. Yep. The butterfly insect ain't got shit to do with no margarine, y'all. You go in the kitchen and cook with butter. Why the hell would they name an insect a butterfly? I would like to see a goddamn pepper fly or a jelly fly. I'm showing you right now why they call it a butterfly. The way it flaps its wings is like the etheric winds around the body. The body is the Buddha. The word body is Buddha. And the butterfly is the Buddha fly. There's even a city called Budapest. The Buddha fly was named after the god Buddha, because the god Buddha represent the same spirituality as the monarch butterfly or the Buddha fly. So hold on a second. In other words, the original butterfly was in the top right corner. That's Horus the Hawk. And that's just a personification of the human torus field that's around your body. You are Horus. But a way that the Asians personified this was through Buddha. So Buddha, Horus, and Jesus are all the same God as the god YeSHUa. And it's the same God as the ancient monarch butterfly. Because you remember, the ancients used to worship they paid reverence to the monarch butterfly. See, when you look at the monarch butterfly, it looked like a torus field. That's why they did that. I'll show it to you. So here's the monarch butterfly. If you look at the monarch butterfly, it looked just like an electromagnetic torus field with those four points, 4 pie slices. Here it is right here in the form of a Christian cross. That is the monarch butterfly. But remember, the butterfly is the Buddha fly. This was Buddha. This represents the teachings of Buddha. Remember, Jesus represents the cross or the crossroads, and the ancestors looked at this butterfly and they said it looked like a cross. It looked like a cross. And the Asians turned it into Buddha. But Buddha is just this right here. So you got that, then you got this, which is Buddha. It's all about the flower of life. So Buddha represents the budding of a flower. Buddha is butter. So we start to say it's a butterfly. But before we was pronouncing the bud, we was saying boo. So the Buddha fly became the butterfly. I hope that makes sense to you. The monarch butterfly was being worshipped before we was using margarine, y'all. So it don't get his name from the shit you cook with in the kitchen. We tracking. It couldn't have got his name from the shit, the margarine that you cook with. Because it was called a butterfly before we was using margarine. Do you have an aha moment right now? So the butter had to be referring to this god Buddha. And I'm showing you how they are synonymous now, and it makes perfect sense. So I'm not making stuff up. I'm doing very thorough research here. And it's not really getting the momentum I was thinking it was going to get, but I'm telling you, the truth will never be popular. So even though we wish it will be, because we don't want world religions to remain a popular thing, we want this type of knowledge to heal everybody, stop the religious wars, reconnect us back with the source, and not with these different gods, because they taking this stuff literally, because they're not decoding the literature. So the Buddha fly is the butterfly, and this thing around his head is what gives him wings. It's the crown chakra that is flying the ethereal plane. It's the UFO ship. And it was turned into a butterfly because if you look at it from a top view, it looks just like the monarch butterfly with all the energy being sucked into the middle. We already went over that. Okay? Give me a minute to get my slideshow back right. You keep on doing this on me. We got so much to go over that I think this series is going to be going on for a while, because it's something, I want to be thorough with this. Here, we still ain't made it past this yet. We almost there, but we sinking this collage with some other stuff over here. So now we see about Buddha. We talked about the butterfly. We already talked about this figurine. We talked about YeSHUa, ain't nothing but YeSHUa. And YeSHUa ain't nothing but Buddha. Because the flower that's above Buddha's head is the shoot, is Buddha's shoot. All right, parachute. I put up the dude falling to earth on the parachute. And I showed you that's how you landed on earth. Your crown chakra beamed you down here into the belly of your mama. And you was anchored into her fetus, and you started to manifest yourself by the laws of magnetism and attraction. In the womb of the mother, the ethereal body started to create the physical body. And once the physical body was created, the ethereal body shifted its consciousness into the avatar. And it still exists as a cosmic guardian or influence that surrounds the body to influence and remind it why it came here, to remind it of its mission, what it came here to do. So let me continue. YeSHUa represents a dude, like I said, same energy of a dude trying to land on a parachute is how us fallen angels landed to earth like a snowflake, safe landing. So we see the guy on the parachute. We compared it to the balance of tossing a pizza, because all of this stuff can be synced together. Now we're going to talk about the narrowgate, but give me a minute before we get to that. Let me So YeSHUa is YeSHUa, and also representing YeSHUa, shoot, meaning how energy, is filtered through the parachute for a safe landing. How the wind is filtered through that net so you can land safely. Talking about the calibration of energy, that's what we're talking here when we deal with YeSHUa, sinking the heavens to the ground, because that's what he's doing. He connected Nut with Gab. Now, without him, the children couldn't exist. He's the umbilical cord that allow that child to still be fed. And without him, Nut will fall into Gab and smash our reality. It'll collapse. YeSHUa is like the pole in the middle of a tent. Without him, the whole tent would just collapse. So no more talking about YeSHUa. Well, we're going to talk about YeSHUa. And another word for YeSHUa again is like how we tell an animal to shoo, to move, go, because YeSHUa is this thing in the middle where all the energy is set the energy in motion. That's the vortex. Now, let's move on to the next section. When you talk about the narrow gate, I already went over to you that that's what this is. This torus field looks like a gate, don't it? Like a web, a net, a gate. And to enter this gate, you got to go through this front door. And to go through this front door, it gets real tight, man. It's a narrow gate. So now let's talk about the narrow gate. Now this is a MasterCard logo. And we want to pay attention to the symbol of it, because what you're looking at for their logo is a human's aura field or the cosmic Christ. And you use this MasterCard or a Visa card as a passport. Did you know that? Did you know that the MasterCard and the Visa is used as a passport to travel? Why? What is that symbolically telling you? Everything I'm telling you, man. Look here. The crown chakra is your MasterCard. You ever been to a building and the only way you can get in is it's a card system? You got to swipe your card. That's what this is. The card is the card. Just take the D off the end, man. The card is the car, or the card, a Merkaba. And you got to fit your Merkaba inside of that narrow path to the next, wherever you go to your next destination. That's all it's saying, is that your car will be swiped through the next plane of existence you go to. That's how you came here. They show you this when people enter a black hole. They try to show you spaghettification, all that crap. It's going through the narrow path. This is the camel's eye, the eye of a needle. Okay? This is it right here. And you come out of one being the womb of your mother. This is how your consciousness is transitioned to the future destination. This is how you came here from the ethereal plane. Using your MasterCard, traveling through the narrow gate. All right? And what is that narrow gate? The doorway. The crown chakra. Beam me up, Scotty. And you got to go through that narrow gate. And when you look at this narrow gate, I want you to pay attention to that, because what you looking at in this image is telling you a lot now. Those with eyes gonna see. Look at the sacred geometry now. This is how we see people. Everything merged to a point on a horizon. This is as above, so below. This is the Jesuit cross. X marks the spot. In the middle is a hyperboloid. Let's go to the slideshow. All right, I did a diagram in the bottom right corner that'll show you those 4 triangles, those 4 pie slices that make the Jesuit cross, those 4 pie slices that make the swastika, the Hunapku. You can't escape them. Here they go right here. See, the narrow gate is convergence. That's what it is. Everything converges to a point of singularity when energy is compressed to its most densest form, when it's simplified. So if you was inside of a Christmas tree being sucked up to the top, this is what it'll look like to you. You'll be inside of a cone being pulled up to that point at the top of the cone. This is called returning to the source. You got to go through that narrow gate. Polaris in the sky, it's the narrow gate. And we perceive it just like we looking at in this image. And that perception is the only perception. All right, because this is the human face with the nose in the middle, the triangle that splits the eyes right by the forehead, and the two eyes is the two trees, the two seas that Moses split. Now we about to get deep. Let's go to the next slide. We about to get deep, folks. Oh, maybe something telling me to do the narrow gate on the next parts before I start this whole nother section. This next section is called a narrow gate, and we're going to be talking about the hyperboloid from a whole nother different perspective, going deep into that narrow gate or the rabbit hole. But I just looked up and saw that we about 4 hours, and I think it'll be, since I got this thing in sections, before I start this narrow gate section, I think I'm gonna stop right here, because that'll be a good way to just, open up the next one from that section, narrow gate. So I hate to bust y'all bubble, but I will be stopping this one right now just for that reason. It gives them nice little 4-hour documentaries. So I'm gonna stop that one here, and we'll pick back up on the narrow gate, and you don't want to miss it because you see where I'm going. We finna dig deep, and we're gonna break down that narrow gate to you in a way like you never ever heard before. I promise you that. So let me do one thing before we get out of here. All right. Hold on just a bam. And we'll pick up on the narrow gate, and we'll move on from this collage on the next series. And we'll just kind of pick right back up on that narrow gate where we left off, and show y'all how this gonna get very deep when we get into the narrow gate symbolism. All right. So hit the like button if you didn't already. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on all of my platforms. Share this series to a Christian. Share it to a Hebrew. I'm doing very thorough research in this series that you ain't gonna get nowhere else. Appreciate everybody for the donations. You know who you are. Let me go ahead and call you out. Give you some love. My brother Willie Lil John, always supporting the show. My brother Stick Built, appreciate that love. My brother Huey P. Nuisance, appreciate the donation, my brother. He said, keep up the great work. Thank you, my brother, man. I really appreciate that support. P.ISO, thank you, my brother, for the $10 super chat donation. That's what's up. My brother Illustrious Cook, as always, appreciate the donation. And as always, my brother Mark Monagan supporting. Appreciate that donation, man. I appreciate y'all. And Mark says, through the keyhole, nothing but G's. Bro, free the people. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about this because when Moses, I'm going to just do this for you. Because when I do this, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't want to miss that next one. You swipe the card through the narrow gate. You got to turn that thing sideways. But the narrow gate, we're going to be talking about that because that's the North Pole in the middle of the sun and moon. It's the pole that's spinning them. But that pole is an opening. It's a door. It's a very narrow door. And the soul goes through that narrow doorway, and it squeezes in there like a card being swiped. And as you go through it, it's reading your information, filtering out the different versions of you, breaking you down. That's what this whole card system do. Where do you think they learn this shit from? They know about this stuff, I'm telling you. They're occultists. So you don't want to miss the part 2. Because you are the card being swiped. That's why I got this picture up here, because listen, people, I'm giving you space and counter space. I want you to see the card being swiped, but I want you to imagine that you are the card. So I give you this image. This allows us to become the card that's being swiped. This is what that card see. And this is what you see upon death. You are the card, the macabre. And to understand this journey, you do not want to miss this second part where I talk about the narrow gate. Because this is where Moses split the seas, all right? Remember, Moses is Moses. Your two eyes are water. Moses is in the middle, splitting the seas, your vision. Splitting the sun and moon. Creating Moses. Without that, you'll be a one-eyed creature. Okay? Without that little nose bone in between your eyes, splitting the seas with your vision. Everything is made like this. This the sun and moon and North Pole. This your two eyes in between your nose and pineal. But this is the narrow gate information that shows you how nature weaves everything together. All right? So, one thing I'm going to say before we get out of here is the B and the W are interchangeable. Put it this way, I'm gonna make this simple for you. This ether is what creates the weather on Earth. If you take the W off the word weather, it becomes ether. That's what stirs up the elements and create the weather outside in day and night. The ether create the weather. All right? So the weather is also the weaver, because the weather is the weaver. This thing looks like a basket, but the one that's controlling the weather is the weaver. The fish in the middle of this basket is the one weaving it together, and it's weaving it with ethereal weather. So the word weather is ether, or ether is weaver. When you talk to people in New York, they don't say brother, because the TH is a V. They say brother. New Yorkers, they don't say TH. They don't say my mother. They say my mother. Because the mother is the mover. She's the one moving the energy around. It's the cosmic mother, the great mother at the center of the earth, that's moving the energy. So when you say mother, it's still mother. In a lot of cultures, it's mother, because the mother is the supreme mover of the ether. So the weather is being controlled by the weaver or the weaver. And this thing looks like a woven basket, because the mother or the mover is moving all of the energy into a web, creating this etheric weather, and it's creating a web of weather, and it's woven together by the weaver that's creating the weather. And she's the mother, but she's also the mother, because she's the mover of all this energy. The way we talk, if we listen to the way we talk, our dialect will reconnect us with our ancient truth. Listen to our dialect, it'll reconnect us. But folks, I gotta get up out of here right now. You don't want to miss part 2 when we get into the narrow gate. Peace and much love.